Oh, it's gonna be a good one. So hit the like button while the intro plays, and do your
Stick
thing.
around. Ooh, don't
All right.
nobody tell DJ I stole his intro, but I did.
Oh, was that where it came from?
Yeah,
All I'm saying, guys, is I may be going bald.
maybe
That's okay.
or
It's okay.
continuing to.
Look, I told Josh today, and I'm throwing it out there. I got this stuff. I'm putting it on the beard too. We're gonna see if I can get it going.
If you're gonna do something on your face, you need to get one of them rollers that opens up the pores.
Oh, that like cut you?
Huh? It doesn't cut you. You can't even feel it. It's like little needles that like poke down into your skin. It basically opens your pores up, but you can't feel it.
Nah, bro, that freaks me out. But it is gonna be a good night. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
He's got the tiramisu.
Terramana.
Oh, okay, that's what it's called.
And then the Tim Smith.
So he's got the Dwayne Johnson tequila going tonight.
It's actually fairly affordable. I was quite shocked. First time I walked in, I've not walked into a liquor store in probably 4 years. Well, excuse me. I've walked in 2 other times to pick up a wine subscription we have for Sky. And today I walked in. I was like, well, I've been watching Moonshiners all week. I wonder if they have Mr. Tim Smith's Climax Moonshine. And then I saw his tequila. I was like, well, I need to try it.
Who's Tim Smith?
He's that. Have you ever watched Moonshiners?
No.
Okay,
does
so
it have
he's
something to do with this?
No, it does not.
Oh,
I don't think.
Oh, that's The Rock.
Yeah. But anyways, and then today, so do you remember Alex from the comic shop that passed away last year?
Yeah,
so today would have been his 46th birthday. Josh posted that today. And I actually got to spend 3 or 4 hours today with Josh and talking about things with him.
How'd you do that?
Well, we got up, made breakfast, and Sky and Ellie fell asleep. Papa K fell asleep on the couch. So I was like, well, I'm going to go over to Josh's. It's been like a month. So I spent a couple hours there. They were snoozing all from about 12 to about 2:30 when I came back, 3 o'clock.
Good deal. I'm sure you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did. We I tried to buy a Green Goblin statue, but he wanted way too much money for it, Josh. But I did walk away with another statue.
Josh, you just don't know how to negotiate with that man.
Well, he hooked me up with this one over here.
Okay.
I'll show it. So I'm pretty pumped. Actually, I'm more excited about this one.
You gotta give him the.
Yeah, we were talking about comic book prices, which we're going to talk about later. Kind of what he's seeing. Some of the. I mean, he's like, dude, they are.
Yeah, bad. And something that sparked this is I was hanging out with Reggie over at Reggie Collects. I know if you know who we are, you know who Reggie is. So go check that video
I still cannot believe out of the both of us, right? I've been watching that man since we started collecting comic books. I literally spent every.
Oh, I know you would be cleaning or cooking, and you'd have Reggie
every night.
All night. Yeah, I know.
Every single night when we first had Ellie, I would be in there washing bottles.
Yep.
And I would have his newest video on, and I did that for, God, forever. So, but of all people, but it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But yeah, guys, go watch the video that I did with Reggie Collects this past week. It was a good time hanging out with him. We were talking about the comic book market as far as it goes at Comic Cons, basically. That was what I was on there to speak to. Not that I've been to like as many Comic Cons as some people have, but I've been to a fair amount this year. I've gotten out and gotten to as many as I can, and so he asked me to come on and talk about that, and it kind of made me think, well, there's definitely some stuff going on in the market right now. So we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. We're going to talk about what is going on in the MCU, not just the Thor movie, and we're not going to be talking spoilers, so don't worry, but just kind of like where the MCU looks like it's headed as far as what's going on with it now and what our hopes are for it anyway. And what was the other thing I put on there?
Greater notes, CGC.
Backpedaling on them Graders notes, man. So we're going to talk about that too, and what that means. Going to talk about the good and the bad of it, and go from there. Nick's got some stuff to show off, so it should be a fun night.
Talk about some comic books I've read.
Yep. I'm going to talk about some stuff I've read too. I actually got to read a little bit this week, and
I got a statue to show off and some books.
And you guys see at the bottom, we are back on that super chat mystery box bullish. So if you want to get a shot at the weekly mystery box, $1.99 super chat will get you in the wheel for that. Every $1.99 is one entry. So $5 will be 2 entries, right? Ain't that how it works?
Yeah, it's like every $1.99. So
yeah,
we'll figure it out.
So, and we'll draw for that at the end of the night. Let's say hey to everybody hanging out in the chat. Hope everybody's had a good week. What's up, Nosh?
Stevie B. It's been a long time since we've seen Stevie B in a chat.
Nosh, I'm gonna throw your mystery, the Something's Killing the Children trade paperback you won last week. We'll be mailing out the exclusive on Monday, and the CGC stuff's not ready. But I was gonna hold off on sending you your paper comics until the slab came back in, but I don't know how long the slab's gonna be, so I'm gonna go ahead and send you everything, and I'll throw that trade paperback you won last week in with that for you too, bud.
What up, Crazy
CGC,
8?
long time, dude.
Yep, for sure.
One of the first friends we made out here.
Yeah. I mean, 3 years ago. We're coming up on 3 years. That's crazy.
No, we've been here longer than 3 years, dude. We're coming up on 4.
No, we started when Ellie was born.
No, we started a year before that, dude. We started 2019.
That's 3 years.
I feel like last year was our 3rd year anniversary.
It was
just like this year's number 4.
Somebody go back and check the oldest video we posted.
Yeah, somebody go check, see when we dropped our first video. Tell us how old we are. Crazy that age, we're so old, we don't even know how old we are anymore.
I hope you're doing good, man. Ryan, of course. Alan.
Ryan was my first friend in comic books.
Yeah, I sat in the car while you bought those from him because I was like, I don't know who this weirdo is.
Yeah, he's a
what
weird
up, CJ? Hey, CJ, you did win a DC box that Dustin.
Congratulations on the new baby.
Yes, for sure.
I know that you had a job, but you did win a mystery box last week, bro. I got one of these big ass DC ambassador boxes I got to bring to you. So
he has to record a video first.
Oh yeah, I got to record like a 5-second video with it first. But it's got some cool stuff in there, dude. And I think the hoodie will fit you too. So that's awesome.
Right on. Yeah, they asked for our hoodie size or shirt size when we signed up, and I gave them I think a 2X. I think.
Yeah. CJ's a nice slender fellow like us. So
what up, Icebox?
What's up, dude?
You got it. Hello, Kenneth.
He used to be Icebox. He's Icebox has been with us for a long time, dude. He used to be something Toadman. That's Toadman. Remember?
Is that Toadman?
Yeah. From what? He's been
doing the streams he's drawing the streams. So I actually, when I unpacked, I've had your because he has Dragon Ball Z cards that he won from us, and I have them sitting back here still on the shelf. And in all fairness, I've just not remembered to send them because we packed them up when we moved. But I got them. Okay, cool. Oh, because I see his name everywhere now all of a sudden on our Instagram. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. What's up, Kenneth?
Oh, no, he used to be Apprentice Ewok. That's right. Okay.
So not Toadman.
Yeah, Toadman changed his name too, though.
Okay.
Yeah, so Toadman changed his name, and I forget what it was when it was. You won it last week, bro, for the June Bro Box.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's wild. Let's see. Trinity, what's going on, brother? Like he was representing Aftershock today.
Oh, I've got Trinity's Thor review on the need to watch, but I haven't got to it yet. But I'm excited.
I've got all my hair. Yeah, dude. I finally completed like with this one. I'm finally caught up. Y'all started the year after I did. So we're at what, 2-3 years? This will be 3rd year. What's up, Dan?
What's up, Dan?
I'm going to be talking some Spider-Man for a moment tonight, and then talking about my future read because I'm pretty close to being done with Spider-Man. If I'll just knuckle down on it, I'll be done in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Right on.
Knuckle down, is that the term? Hammer down.
Hammer down. Bear down.
Bear down. Anywho's.
I don't know. I'm truly not sure.
Stuff is strong. No, I'm not quitting Spidey. I'm just almost done with it. But I will tell you, it's not been very positive. And I'm thinking what I'm going to read next is going to be fun.
Chum-Lee is on Whatnot. Are you shitting me?
Dude, they're getting everybody on there. Chum-Lee's been on there for a while. And you know what's frustrating? Like, I didn't realize that if like you sell something for $20, Whatnot's basically getting 50% of your, after they charge you the standard fee, the fee on top of your sale price, the tax fee, plus shipping fee.
Yeah, I don't like the fact, and I don't care if like everybody does it or not, but I'm definitely not a fan of the whole. If I sell something for $8 and then it's like $2 in tax, and I think 50% is definitely not even close to what they actually take. But like if I sell something for $8 and it's like $2 in tax, and then it's like $5 to ship it. So that's a $15 total. Instead of them taking their percentage out of that $8 that actually comes to me, they take it out of everything.
So Ryan, I know it's not.
They get a bigger chunk that way.
Yeah, and so Ryan, I know it's not like quite that high, but I did join that Whatnot resellers group, and there was this lady, she got on there, and she's like, explain to me how I'm only getting like 35 to 40%, or they're taking away 35 to 40% of my sales. And people are like, well, you can't sell stuff that low because they take, it comes to be a higher percentage.
Yeah, that's why you can't start stuff. That's why I don't start stuff at $1 anymore, and people get pissed, and like nobody hardly shows up to my shows anymore because I don't do dollar starts.
Yeah.
I don't do anything less than a $3 start, because on $1 I get less than 50 cents for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what she was saying. She was like, so why shouldn't I just go back to eBay for 12 or 13%?
Right.
On everything. So,
yeah.
And I'm kind of with you, JJ. I mean, like, I'm kind of overseeing Whatnot, new Whatnot this, new Whatnot. Like, it's, I don't know. It may be a little oversaturated, but yeah, it definitely.
I still make, I don't make anywhere near what I did 6 months ago, but I mean, if I can make a couple $100 in a few hours, it's worth it. But it's definitely been frustrating for me, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still a good avenue to go.
For sure. So real quick, let me show off what I picked up, and then we're going to, oh yeah, eBay is doing that too. And I'm very curious about that. And kind of,
apparently Ryan was telling me that they did the they did a like a beta test, and like, no, I didn't hear anything about it. Like, apparently it's not like, it wasn't like the biggest thing, I guess, the way it went. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think they have to do what Whatnot did, right? Get into the community. I think that's the biggest thing that made Whatnot so successful.
Yeah.
Is they didn't just put out a product. They got inside the community and did it like very fast, very quick. They started bringing on people to promote this, paying a lot of money. Like, phenomenal marketing there.
Yeah,
without a doubt. But real quick, before we get into our topic, showing off my new pickups, just got these bad boys. Great stuff. Not actually a huge fan of that cover, but it is what it is. And then finally picked up my pull list. Yeah, and I know Dustin's made a
I was doing really well. It's just, I don't know. I think people that were buying from me got so used to the dollar starts that when I changed to the $3 starts, I think that it kind of like got everybody a little shaken up with me. Because I mean, you kind of build up a crowd that, like, comes to your sales. So, I had them, conditioned to the dollar starts and getting books for $1 all the time. And now it's like, oh, now you're charging us $3 plus it's costing more for shipping. Like, bro, I'm not buying shit from you now.
Well, and
I mean, I still do good every now and then. So
when you first started, gas wasn't $5 a gallon. Food wasn't $200 a week.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that as a whole. But yeah, you're definitely noticing a downward trend. So here's my pull list for the last 3-4 weeks. So Moon Knight 12, probably going to pull that off.
Moon Knight. Didn't anybody tell you the Moon Knight show's over? So like, Moon Knight books are not cool anymore, bro.
Got the retailer instead of
that's neat looking, dude. I like that one.
But it is neat. Super neat. Berserker 9, honestly forgot that was even a thing.
Ooh, did everybody see that Keanu Reeves is bringing Berserker to Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh, for real?
Yep, he's doing it. So
get your number ones ready for like 4 minutes.
Those Berserker books ready.
Oh, we could talk about that because Marvel announced their Hall H schedule.
Akira Yoshida schedule. Okay.
Yeah, Akira Yoshida's doing his own panel this year. And if you don't know who Akira Yoshida is, you should just Google it because it's quite funny. Thor 23. Somehow I have Thor 23 and then Thor 26 all of a sudden. I'm not real sure there. Star Wars, Wolvenheart. I love Wolvenheart. A really cool Darth Vader, Crimson Reign. Interesting. King Spawn. Gunslinger. I will continue to pick those up because I want Todd McFarlane to continue to do well with those. Spawn sketch cover, blank, the only time, and he's going to offer these from my understanding, so I grabbed this one, and I grabbed that one. And then this one's pretty neat, but honestly, I'm so behind. I'm like a good 12 issues behind on the series.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gimmicky, but at the same time, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so that's like what I picked up there.
Fifth one they've done.
What now?
It's like the fourth or fifth one they've done.
Is it? Maybe I've gotten one. I don't know. And then this is the statue I picked up from Josh. Let me pick this up over here.
I think I've pretty much given up on Something's Killing Children. Oh, you finally got it. Was that the damaged one?
Yes. So hooked me up with it.
That thing's pretty cool though, man.
Yeah, and honestly, like from this angle, you can't even tell where the damage is until I kind of turn it, and you can see it a little bit. But again, it's
I
so
still
cool.
Can't remember what it was.
It's here. It's got a crack in it, and then right here has a crack. Basically, the cape cracked. But still, super cool. I love Hobgoblin. He is definitely one of the top few villains.
You used to give me so much crap for saying he was a cool villain.
Hey. And then they turned him. So as I read through, then he turns. They don't. So Marvel becomes so derivative. Like after 2000s, it becomes comical. Okay, and if you don't know what derivative means, basically it means taking from one concept and just recreating it over and over again, or kind of pulling from it, right? And they do this, then they redo the Green Goblin about 15 times with new people, not literally, but same thing here. And then they come out with the Menace, which is a female version that turns out to be pregnant with Harry Osborn's baby, and that whole thing was stupid. Like, but the originals, like Green Goblin and Hobgoblin, in their prime, I'm telling you, man, just amazing. Still not better than J. Jonah Jameson as the greatest Spider-Man villain of all time,
ever,
but pretty damn
right
good.
on.
And the paint job on this is really nice. The textures are beautiful. It's got a really nice gloss. I mean, just phenomenal. Wait a minute, Red Goblin wasn't original. See, I haven't even gotten that far yet to be able to crap on that one. But he also had this 2004 Sideshow statue that actually Steve Hinton, Spinner Rack, brought in. And
okay.
So I was looking at it.
It's an older one?
Yeah, 2004. So that make me larger. There we go. So, and I was like super close to considering it. Because I mean it was gorgeous, but he wanted a little bit more than I was willing at the point in time. And what's crazy is you can only so he was wanting like 400, which is fair for what it is. It's a quarter scale statue, but the only listing on eBay was for $850 for this thing. Now there were some previous solds for a little bit less than 420, like I told you, but one of them had like a stain on the leg from the leather bag they put on them, and then another one was just slightly under. So yeah, super cool. I hope he has that for a while and then gets tired of it being in a shop, so I can go in and offer him like $300. Or trade
something in there for trade, dude.
Yeah, well, that's how he got it. Steve Hinton traded that for a book.
Gotcha.
So apparently he has a massive beard now. So, all right. So we missed a couple things. Yeah. Okay. Hey, he's a good place to start with marketing. That's for dang sure. You cannot knock the man. He is a marketing genius when it comes to comic books. No one even noticed. What's up? Keel Town, if you have problems, $3. Yeah, pretty much. Between overall cost of living and crazy convention. Yeah, for sure. Sweet Statue. Hey guys, it's been a minute. Have you checked out Savage Avengers? It's been a fun read. So they just redid a new version. I believe David Pepos is
Yeah,
doing
I
it now.
saw that they relaunched it. I
Yeah.
haven't read any of the new. I read the original Savage Avengers. I mean, I read that for a while and it
Yeah.
was a fun read, man. That shit was good. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, we both did. And then it got a little, didn't it? It got a little strange because it was after like 12 when it was supposed to end. It kind of got weird on what
Yeah,
ended
yeah.
up in
Once they
director.
decided to keep going, like after annual 2 or
Yeah.
like a few issues after annual 1, I think it was supposed to end, and then they decided to keep it going, and then it just started getting
It
really,
almost felt
really out
directionless.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, yes, I think I'm gonna take it off the pull list now. But it started out really strong.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan, I'm on 675, just finished up with Spider Island. It was terrible until the last issue or two when Mary Jane gets some Spider-Man power and they have a little moment there on the tower and or that large building, not necessarily tower, and it finally felt like I was getting some classic Spider-Man again. So good. But like I said, I'm on 675. That leaves me with like 225 left. If I were to just continue to read 10 issues a day for the next 20 days, like next month, I'll be done, pretty quick. But on
Are you
top
gonna
of,
keep up with what's coming out now too?
I'm gonna have to. So Logan and I have been talking about that. My stepbrother.
I haven't heard anybody say that it's worth a damn though. That's
No,
what's
it's been
sucks.
absolutely horrendous. I mean, like I fully expect everything from here on out to continue to be garbage, if I'm being candid. And if for you guys who don't know, so I'm reading every Amazing Spider-Man comic book ever. Started with number 1 or AF15 on January 1. The plan was to read 3 issues a day, but as modern comic books get easier to read, I've just been literally I'll read 10 issues a day, a little bit more sometimes, depending on kind of what's happening in my life. And then of course, like Clone Saga hit, so you had all those tie-ins, and then like during the 90s, every 5 minutes they were having a tie-in with a alternate title, so you really had to read that. So I bet you I'm damn near 800 total issues read, and then if you include Ultimate Spider-Man and some of the other stuff I've read, like Todd McFarlane's spinoff and some of these other things, I'm probably either at 1,000 or a little bit over this year just Spider-Man. So like, needless to say, like I'm highly involved with Spider-Man at this point, and but so I was talking to Logan about this, and he's read it all too, right? So he's the only other person I know that's read every other Spider-Man comic, and we were talking. I was like, so I mean, I feel like I have to from this point in my life read every Spider-Man comic that comes out on the Amazing Spider-Man title, or else I feel like I've done all of this for naught. You know what I mean? Because I have to be that guy that has read every Amazing Spider-Man book, and I can't say that if I just stop once
Yeah.
it hits 900 or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna either do that or read it. Wait till it comes out on that Marvel Unlimited app, and then I'll just read a batch of it at a time.
I hope it comes up that there's like an issue out there that like is not on digital anything, like some ghost ass book that you can't find, like the son of a bitch is
Wouldn't that be terrible?
non-existent, and you're just sitting there dying because you ain't read it.
No, I'm sure I know enough people out there that would hook me up with something. Oh man. What's up, Alex? Face looks like Maximum Overdrive. I'm not even sure what that is. Let me see.
Oh,
Maximum.
he was talking about the Hobbit, the Green Goblin.
Yeah, but I don't know what Maximum Overdrive is.
Oh, gotcha.
Let's see.
Kind of off topic, but have either of you
Oh
been
yeah,
to
yeah,
Visions
yeah, yeah.
Comics in Cedartown?
What now?
No, I haven't never heard of Visions Comics up in Cedartown. I go to Cedartown quite a lot now. I've got some friends out there that I hang out with a good bit here lately. The guys that helped me get started on the pressing and cleaning. So I'll have to look into that. Killtown, thanks for letting me know. I'll have to look into that.
Dan, savor the original Stanley story time. There's nothing else like his style and approach. And that was a conversation I was having today is literally I'm so disappointed in the modern stuff that I'm wishing I could go back to at least being like at Clone Saga level of good, right? So you have everything that came before Clone Saga is like way up here. After Todd McFarlane took over, it dropped. After he finished, I'd say it dropped, and then Clone Saga, dropped even more. Straczynski came in, and I felt like it raised the bar a little bit up until like One More Day, that whole kind of thing. And now it's just continued to, and I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. That's just not a good Spider-Man story for like the last 100 issues. It's been terrible.
Yeah, his favorite issue was when they killed Gwen Stacy, and he just hasn't been able to get over it since then.
At this point, I'd be happy going back to that kind of thing. But dude, it is wild how terrible it's actually been. And I'm telling you, Stan Lee and Ditko and basically everything up until really the 90s. You know, Todd McFarlane had a great run, but like nothing has been even remotely half as good. There's a spark that's missing. There's something really gone at this point, and I feel like we don't really get it back ever from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I am going to try to read some of these big spin-offs like Superior and things like that and throw that in there. Just because I know that they're really key stories. And I do want to get into the Spider-Verse a little bit. You know, I'm probably not going to dig in super deep if it's going to be kind of lame. We'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely going to read some of this
Spider-Verse #5 in there in the press right now.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, honestly,
totally
at this point,
messed it up too.
And that's what I was talking to Josh today about, Dustin. So Dan's saying, you know, he doesn't read new comics. He's just only reading Silver Age. And you're absolutely right. It's like the new comics lack substance. They lack this spark, this passion. I really don't know how to describe it.
It's all about shock factor and just getting it out there.
Yeah, you know, I feel like,
how many titles can we get out there at one time?
And this is going to shock you, but I feel like the closest I've read to a modern writer, when I say modern, I'm, you know, like fairly new, is probably Donny Cates, because I feel like he does put in a lot of thought into things. He wants to do cool stuff. He's looking at it through a bigger picture. He has always has like this higher level story, and then you have your main issue, you know, kind of the big problem in the main issue. And I feel like,
and I can appreciate that.
He lacks endings.
Yeah, like I said, you know, that's the biggest killer for me, and it's hard for me to get behind. That's like my biggest reason for not being able to get behind the guy, because you know, for a while there, I was reading anything the guy was putting out. I was picking up every Venom issue. I was picking up every Thor issue, reading them all. And it was just like every story arc that I got into that I was reading, and I get excited, and then he shit the bed in the end, and I'm just like, man, like, it's like watching, you know, your favorite sports team kick ass the whole season and then shit the bed in the playoffs, and do it every single season.
Oh yeah.
And I've got enough of that. I've had enough of that in my life with watching my favorite sports teams kick ass all season and shit the bed at them in the playoffs, no matter what sport it was. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to quit getting behind people and teams and organizations that can't finish. You know, I don't care if I have to jump on a bandwagon. I want that Alabama Roll Tide comic book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Start strong, stay strong, finish strong.
Oh man. Dustin, you should do the same thing for Captain America. So I think you should, you know, at least, you know, like the early volume.
I started with Fantastic Four. Like, that's the one that I think I would like to do more. Like, and I kind of like when I got on Fantastic Four, you know, I kind of started. I think I started on 48.
Yeah, it was like right around
Galactus, and I read through all the way to like all the way past through the Thing and Silver Surfer battles, and then I kind of jumped back and read a couple. Like, I didn't read in any specific order after that. I was just kind of jumping from this to that. But yeah, Nick and I both talked about like that would be a good one for us to like. My problem is finding time to read more than one issue a day.
Yeah,
especially something Silver Age, because I'm not a fast reader at all. Like, it would take me like 45 minutes to read one issue of a Silver Age book. Like, easily take me that long.
And in all fairness, I mean, I told you I thought 3 issues a day was nothing, and it was. I mean, early on took forever. Like, really, honest to God, I was like, I don't know if I can get through this. But I eventually just kind of was like, you know what, relax, don't put so much pressure on it. It's making it not fun. But speaking of Fantastic Four, I told Josh today, I think that may be the one I want to do next. Yeah. And the reason being is Fantastic Four actually plays a massive role throughout the Spider-Man stories.
Yeah, I mean, they touch everything, dude.
Yeah,
they touch everything. I mean, and the stuff that I read, I the only thing that I read throughout the Fantastic Four run that I read up to this point that I was just kind of like, this kind of wasn't like this should have been better.
Yeah.
And it was the biggest disappointment because it was something I was looking forward to the most, but it was the Black Panther whenever he comes in and the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four go to Wakanda and we see Wakanda for the first time and Black Panther and that whole thing. I don't know. Like I expected that story to be, I guess I just had my hopes up higher and wanted it to be more, but I know at the time, like Black Panther wasn't intended, I guess, to be as big as it was. Like he wasn't a character that really developed into as big a character as he is until later on. But even the Galactus and Silver Surfer stuff in 48, 49, and 50, it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was expecting some like, grand saga and event and full of like crazy action and event, and it really wasn't what you expected. Like
because it's Silver Age comics, right? And that's how they are. And if you think about that, that's issue 48, right? So it's
48, 49, 50.
So it's somewhere around year 4 of them actually writing that comic books. And keep in mind, mainly at that time, he was churning and burning comic books like crazy. The artists were actually probably doing more than anything. So it definitely is different. But I think if you were to start from number 1, and that's what I want to do. And I don't necessarily, at this point, after reading Spider-Man, all of them or will have done it. I don't think modern comics and I don't think modern comics have a lot to offer to the lore, if you will. After seeing how bad it's been, I don't think there's a lot there to offer. But I think,
unlike the MCU,
but I think reading, a good volume 1 or even up to like the 90s, man. And I think early 2000s is likely when it's going to drop off big for most things. But I think Fantastic Four number 1 or Fantastic Four would probably be the next batch I'd want to really read. And somebody out there, if you know how many total issues there are of FF, I would love to know. I doubt there's 900. But Josh, I was talking to him. I was like, I want to read that because Spider-Man had such a big role. He's been on the Fantastic Four actually a couple of times. There's been like a lot of interesting things, and I've really become a fan of Johnny Storm and things like that. Why he was in Spider-Man,
and I haven't even gotten into anything Doom, and that's what I'm the most excited about because I mean, Doom is literally like the best villain in Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a better. There's no bigger villain than Doom. He is the big bad. And I hadn't got like the issues that I read that I chose to read. None of those had Doom in it, and I really didn't think about it at the time. And at one point, I was just like, man, like I haven't read anything with Doom, and that was kind of when we started talking about reading all through it and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many. You think about all the characters that come from and interact with the Fantastic Four series. I mean, yeah, it's got to be. And the thing is, you don't ever hear anybody talking about the Fantastic Four. Like people talk about X-Men, people talk about Spider-Man, people talk.
It's probably because modern comics haven't been great,
right?
And I haven't read it, but
and even until, like last year, the year before, like. Issue number 1 was like Fantastic Four number 1. It was never anywhere near price-wise what you would expect for Fantastic Four number 1 when you think about what that damn book is.
In all fairness, though, X-Men 1 took off like that, though. ASM 1 took off like that. AF50, all those big books. And what's interesting is I do want to show you a GPA market report that I think is going to be really interesting. It talks about we'll talk about that.
I'm not talking about like but that's what I'm saying. But those are not Fantastic Four. Like Fantastic Four was the beginning.
Yeah.
So for me, like that, like how was that always not just crazy? Because it wasn't that much more expensive than an X-Men 1, even before the blow up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I literally had looked at prices of one in like 2019, and I was like, man, if I locked down, I could grab a 2.0 copy of that. And I swear to God, I kick myself right between the legs every day for not doing it, dude. Like I've got the 8.0 record reprint, which is still cool because I mean, from 1964 and 8.0 is nothing to balk at. But I mean, I would give every book I have in here for a 2.0 FF1 at this point, you know, because number one, just how much I grew to love them through reading it and getting into that Silver Age Fantastic Four and actually reading it last year was kind of a turning point for me because, I talked to you about it. Like I was ready to just hang it up. Like I was just,
and that's where I was like, just start reading something and focus on that.
I was bored with it. I didn't know where to go with the collecting, what I wanted to buy. I was just like, I'm kind of done. And then for whatever reason, I decided, you know what? And I think what it was is I heard Kenny talking about the Galactus and Surfer saga and how cool it was. And I was just like, you know what? I've never dove into any Fantastic Four. Let me check that out. Like Surfer and Galactus definitely sounds pretty cool. But it was crazy because to me, the Punisher was cooler than Surfer and Galactus. And nobody talks about that character. But that character right there, that dude was a freaking problem, man. He beat the shit out of the Fantastic Four. He whooped things ass, dude. Like the Punisher was a bad dude. And I'm not talking about Frank Castle. I'm talking about the original Punisher.
What do you mean the original Punisher?
The original Punisher.
So there was a before Frank Castle Punisher, ASM 129? Okay.
Yep.
Which makes sense because when did he appear?
FF 49.
Okay, yeah. So that was definitely because Fantastic Four came out in what, 62 too?
Or was it 61 or 62?
I think it was 62. I think that all came out with
maybe it was 62. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because I think FF and
Spider-Man
and X-Men all came out in 62, but I think Fantastic Four came out in 61.
Yep, it did. Okay, so cover date's November 61, release date's August 61.
Yeah. But yeah, that the pun and he wasn't like it's not like, a prototype Punisher, nothing like that. Like this dude's like he looks like a little small like robot. Like he's like a little and he's like a little bulldog the way he fights, man. And he was a whole problem though, man. He was something else. It was cool.
Justin, I'm not sure. I did not look at the box. It's not Sideshow though. I do not believe it's Sideshow. But yeah, so I think Fantastic Four may be the next one. I think I'm going to try to chug along through that. Maybe get to the early 2000s or whatever Volume 1 is, and I might read Ultimate Fantastic Four based on Josh's big recommendation. I do that.
We need to get Dan on here. He's asked me a couple of times too. We need to get Dan on here to talk about some Silver Age books one weekend.
For sure. Absolutely. But I think, I mean, honestly, like if I could read two major comic lines a year, like knock out something big the first half, something smaller the second half.
Yeah.
And if I could do,
well, what if you don't even do like the full thing? Like, what if you were to just go like you finish Spider-Man and then just jump on the Claremont run of X-Men?
I don't want to do that, and the reason why is because I want to know. It's part of my desire.
Why everybody looked at the Claremont run as being the same.
Exactly right. What was the big deal?
Yeah, I get it.
And I want to be able to experience it from absolutely issue number 1.
Dude, I've read a couple of I've read X-Men 1 through 5, and I was just like, holy shit, dude! Like,
dude, it's rough. It can definitely be.
Oh my
weird.
God.
But I think it's such a cool experience, right? Because now I'm going
Jean
back.
Grey walks into the room, and then Jean Grey turns around.
Well, and we've talked about
bats her eyelashes, and then unpacks her bag and puts it in the drawers. Meanwhile, the sun is out. It's tough.
So, but I think with that, right, we talked about that with Justin, is the art on comic books now have really been able to take over for some of that commentary. Because that was, I mean, his writing style was the same across the board early on with Spider-Man 2. So it's very interesting, very intriguing to see how it develops. But here I am now, 675 issues later, wishing I could go back and enjoy it as much as I did back then.
Yeah.
let's see. X-Men's obviously going to have to be one of the ones I read, James, right? So I'm thinking this year, ASM, Knock It Out, Fantastic Four, and I'll probably won't commit to the full 675 because again, I'm not sure modern comics have a lot to offer when it comes to some of these things. If somebody's like, hey, these specific sets are really critical and I think it'd be a good read, yeah, I'll jump on those. But maybe Fantastic Four, and then maybe next year I do X-Men with, and I do want to do Batman because, for a while I started on Batman too from Golden Age, and I think that'd be a good one because Batman has had a massive character transformation from here to where he's at now, right? From here being kind of this interesting, funny, willing to kill people to now where they're doing orgies in their comic books and it's stupid. I'm being a bit, dramatic there, but yes. Now let's see. Oh, Nosh, let's go with Nosh's comment first. I wish people talked about Emil Blonsky a little bit more because that character is more responsible for the Hulk's existence than any other character.
Never even heard of it.
And see, I've never heard of it either, but I think the Hulk would be another really cool character and probably a very interesting character to read, and probably a pretty quick read if I'm being honest, because for a while it was like
I think you would probably have to get. Well, I don't know how much of it he's in there though. Like I was gonna say, you'd have to jump into that Tales to Astonish stuff too, because I know that's gonna flow in and out a little bit probably. Yeah. But
and I think Daredevil. How many total issues did Daredevil have? Because I bet you it's not 700-800. That may be a good one to read over like a month or two. But yeah, like no clue who that is. So, but again, my goal is, reading goals is to try to knock out 2 massive things, and then maybe I have some extra time at the end of the year. If I kill some of this stuff, maybe I'll throw in something like Venom or a random character that's interesting to me, but not
or throw in like an indie run, like.
And that's what I'm doing right now too. So I
was trying to do that. I tried to read Sandman, and I swear to God, I don't know what the hell was going on. I could not understand and follow it. I know people love it and say it's, but I'm just like, I can't follow it. Like my brain wouldn't work for it.
His writing style is very weird, and the whole concept of it's very odd. I don't know if I would be able to get into it either. But I'm already doing that, right? And you guys know I'm reading a ton of manga whilst reading Spider-Man. I started One Piece with Justin. I'm not as far ahead as Justin is, which is really interesting. But I think when I'm talking about these things, it's just like straight Marvel or DC. And again, I think Daredevil would probably be a good one to throw on the back end of things. I've already read a ton of Venom, some smaller things where I can say, look, I've already, it's 200 issues. I've already read, heck, most of it. Finish that off so I can say, hey, I've read all of Venom. It's almost like a trophy collection, but also like learning things. So, it's like, hey, X-Men is this reason for X, Y, and Z, and Spider-Man's really cool because of this, and really appreciate it versus just what I've seen off of movies or TV shows or whatever. And again, I don't think necessarily, modern comic runs are doing it justice based on what I've seen. So Bronze Age, why do you guys think Marvel won't do a better job on Spidey? I was disappointed with J.R. Jar being penciled for the new series, plus bad writing. So apparently it's terrible. I haven't read it yet. I will fairly soon. I've seen J.R.'s stuff, and it has been quite frankly atrocious. I've
never been very impressed with any of his stuff. Ever.
Early on, there's a small time period where it's really, really good. Like I enjoyed it on Spider-Man, and I've not seen anything great since, if I'm being honest.
I mean, and I saw where they were showing he was going to be doing CGC in-house signing and stuff. Like and then they showed the remarks.
Dude, it's like a squiggly circle, and it's terrible.
The remark is like I would be pissed if you remarked my stuff with that, dude.
Looks like a 3-year-old.
You look at the other artists who aren't even in his league.
Yeah.
And their remarks are like outside. There's crazy.
I honest to God,
it's like it's like a thumbprint with a spider web on it. Like it looked like crap, dude. But I've said this many times. This exact thing. Like, Spider-Man's supposed to be Marvel's flagship character. Like he's supposed to carry the brand.
Bro, they hate him.
And you've literally let this be like the worst comic for how many decades?
I know, dude. Well,
decades.
And here's the thing, bro.
Like, why haven't you put in why haven't they put Donnie on it? Like Put
here's
your best writer and
I
with
want to
your best
say
character,
I want
maybe.
to say he spoke about it before, or somebody else at his level has, and it's because the editing team will not give the freedom for them to do what they want to do to make a cool story, and that is what's so frustrating because you can tell, and if you do some research from about Clone Saga on, the editing team has had such terrible control over this, and what they want to do turns out to not ever be really great. And I think even some of the better ones that could definitely get the job, like Donnie or whatever. One, they're not given the creative freedom from what I've understood and heard them talk about. Two, why in the world would they want to risk their reputation to do a book that they don't have creative control, where people are going to go after
Well,
them
and
like
that's the
crazy?
other thing. Like
Spider-Man is
somebody's
so
got to
beloved.
see that. Like if it's on the editors, then somebody's got to
Yeah.
see that. Like, why is it that? Like that's still not an excuse. Like that's still Marvel
No, I
screwing up
know,
and
but I'm
just
saying
like
that's why you don't have better writers, is because they're
right.
like,
So
I'm
like it
getting,
still lands at the feet of Marvel as a
yeah,
whole.
oh for sure,
Like you still don't care enough
yeah,
about your flagship character to do something about this, and
that's what I'm saying. Like,
and maybe it falls at the maybe it falls the blame falls on the fans because you continue to buy anything Spider-Man no matter what it is,
yeah.
because it is Spider-Man, and they look at it like, well, these idiots are going to buy this shit no matter how bad it is. Like, why would we waste our good talent on these? Let's put them on the books that people aren't buying.
Yeah, exactly. And what's
It's
frustrating,
y'all's fault. That's why I answered the question. I figured it out.
but but that's what's so frustrating. And like I said earlier, I feel like there's a massive love or a spark or something that's been missing. I would say Straczynski, he was the last really interesting writer I've seen,
Yeah.
or interesting story. And Straczynski, he has this little blurb on one of his websites, and one of the big questions, it's like a FAQ, right? And so it's like, these are all the questions that are always asked to me anytime somebody sees me at a con or something like that. Let me give you the answer. And a lot of people may or may not know, but during his run, they gave Gwen Stacy and Norman Osborn kids together, right? Let that wrap around your head. Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy. And their kids come back to kill Peter Parker because they think Peter Parker's their father, and they just left them out to just basically die and struggle. And originally, that was what was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Peter and Gwen's kid. Gwen left during that time period because she was pregnant and some other things going on, right? And they retconned all that to be not retcon, but they wrote it to be that Norm was their father. So they had Green Goblin serum. They were aging super fast, and they ultimately end up dying at the end of all this. And you go and you read this FAQ, and he's like, why did I give Norman and Gwen Stacy kids? And he goes, because I was young, and that's what the Marvel editors wanted to do, so I went with it. And that was his answer. And like that right there alone is probably the answer for 99% of the stupid things we see in modern comic books.
Like I would love, like it's almost at the point where like, when do we get to have these Q&As with these editors? Like bring them out and put them in front of
You're going to
people
get to talk to Akira Yoshida at the Marvel town, or what, not town, the San Diego Comic-Con. They're doing a panel with the chief editor there at Marvel, Akira Yoshida. Again, look it up. Hilarious. The fact that he's actually named that after what he did, so funny to me. But yeah, honestly,
Dan's right too, because DC does the same shit with
yeah.
Superman.
Oh, for sure.
Like I mean, Superman. The only person I've ever heard say Superman is great right now at any point in time in the comics has been Mark. Like I don't know anybody else that ever picks it up and reads it.
Dude,
like,
I've not met a single person that tells me they read Superman or Action Comics on the regular.
Mark says consistently that Action Comics is like one of the best things out there. But I mean, he's the only one that I ever hear say it. And I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying like that is how detached people are from that character at this point, that nobody looks at Superman as
why do you hate us?
A character that is worth your time to even look
What's up,
into.
Comic Journey? Why do you hate us, Justin? Did I say something? And you're right. Time does definitely change things. But I think we're all going to agree that it probably has not been too great.
I mean, but does I mean,
it's not.
Everybody still hates the Clone Saga.
Look, and I told that to Logan today and Josh. I was like, I just wish we could go back to like the Clone Saga level of suck. At least it was something. You know what I mean? At least they felt like they were trying to do something. It felt interesting. Not so much anymore. And then there was something else somebody said. Oh, so the Superman, that brought up another good point. Something else we were talking about today. Really, the big issue with comic books is they're constantly wanting to recreate their characters or recast them, right? You have Superman, now it's a different Superman. You know, they tried to kill Batman, that didn't work out. They tried to do the Clone Saga, that didn't work out. They're trying to reinvent the wheel with these characters, and people aren't reading Batman to read Tim Drake or Nightwing or something. People are reading Batman for Bruce Wayne. People are reading Superman for Kal-El. People are reading Spider-Man for Peter Parker. I enjoy the Peter Parker moments more of Spider-Man, where he's like the dramatic moments with Mary Jane and things like that, than anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, great. It like, sure, Spider-Man's going out and beating up Green Goblin and fun, but the best moments, the love, I feel like the love for the comics for me is coming from the Peter Parker moments, right? That
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but
Does it just remind you of me?
dude, by the way, I'm telling you, so they started consistently talking about the Parker luck. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is Dustin. He's always talked about being a massive fan of Miles, but I think if you were to read Peter Parker, you'd understand that like Peter just gets crapped on every 5 seconds. There's never positive things happening to this guy. It's always something bad happening.
Every time he turns around, just
every
shit
time.
dropping right on your head.
Every single time. And he talks about it every
I feel
single
you, Pete. I know how it is, man.
I'm telling you, dude, you should try to pick up some of this stuff, right? It's like you finally get the girl and then Green Goblin drops her off a effing bridge. You know, like
how could I do that though? Like I'm the anti Spidey guy.
I'm telling you, you
like,
guys have a lot in common.
I would never even live it. I couldn't do it because the people wouldn't let me live it down.
Yeah. They were excellent then, you're right. And I love it so much.
And that's what I thought. I think that's a lot of what
Oh, right on, man. So what do you think, Stephen? Welcome. So what are you thinking about it right now based on kind of what it was since 86 versus now? And I know obviously there's still an additional like damn near 45 years before that. But what has your experience been like? Do you feel like things have gotten better or worse? Because I've not read any DC like that. And my experience with Marvel has been that it's gotten consistently worse since a certain number of time. But, you know, with a few exceptions here or there.
But I was going to say, you know, the human
Team
aspect.
Your mom. Team Your Mom.
That was something that was really good in the Fantastic Four too. When you talk about like Ben Grimm and his jealousy when it comes to Surfer and his wife, and the whole love triangle with you know, Surfer with Namor and Mr. Fantastic and Invisible, you know, like when you like there's a lot of that in there too that's really good and just, you know, is captivating, and it pulls you in and makes you interested in like what's going on. Like, oh my God, is she gonna leave Reed Richards for Namor? Like, she's thinking about it. You know, and the links that Ben Grimm goes to try to change himself so that his blind wife won't see him as a monster. Like, bro, like they went real deep with that, because I mean, like, he sees himself as this horrible monster and he's worried his wife isn't gonna love him anymore. It's like, bro, she can't even see you, you know. But I mean, yeah, it goes pretty deep.
Yeah, for sure. But you connect with it on an emotional level because of that human element. And that's a great way, Dan, to describe that, the human aspect of it. The superhero side of it's great. Like, that's icing on top. But that human aspect is what people relate to.
Right.
And I think that is... And another thing that's really bad about kind of this 2000s to early teens is they start throwing out stupid stuff like they have this villain or semi-anti-hero that like live streams while they're doing stuff, or, you know, nobody wants that in their comic books. We don't want all of this. It's so strange. It very is strange.
No. We don't get to tell. You do not get to tell anybody what it is that you want in your comic books and your movies.
No, that is not allowed. We're not allowed to be
comic book fans. We do not get any say so. That is not for us.
Tom Price and I, so he's a local artist. Every time I come in there, he ever since I started posting on Instagram kind of our hot takes, and he gives me crap for it. I'm like, it's fine, dude. We have 3 years of positivity, and I've only been doing this. And I'm like, look, I'm generally pretty receptive to things, but I will die on the hill of Gore the God Butcher being an absolute terrible character design in the MCU.
It ain't even about the design, bro. Wait till you
Well,
see him
I
in the
know,
movie.
but I'm still saying, look,
I couldn't believe.
terrible.
I mean, and I don't know if it's Bale's fault or if it's the writer's fault
It's
or
definitely the
what it
writers, I
is.
bet.
But I mean, there is not one thing about Gore the God Butcher that looks intimidating. Not even looks, that it like they don't do anything to make you believe that this guy has a shot in a fight against them. Ebony Maw during Infinity War was twice the imposing villain that freaking Gore was. And you know who I'm talking about with Maw.
Yeah.
Like that dude was serious.
Yeah.
Gore?
Dude, just pick up the Jason Aaron's run, start reading it. It's on the MCU app.
I want to, yeah.
It's a quick read. It's not even that many issues.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, like seriously, you'll be able to knock it out in a couple days.
And here's the other thing, like they want you to take this guy serious, Gore the God Butcher. If you want me to take him serious, then why is it in the middle of the first fight against this guy? And this is not really a spoiler because you see it in the freaking trailer. Why is it in the middle of the first fight where Thor's fighting? They're sitting there cracking jokes and laughing. And then, you know, like Gore's over here just like trying to kill everybody. And Thor's sitting here like, oh, Mjolnir? Could someone please? Is that my hammer? Could someone grab my hammer? Like, so this guy's this huge threat, but our superhero, the savior's not even going to pay him any attention. Like he's more concerned with cracking jokes with the other characters. And can someone please grab my hammer? Like why would I take this character seriously? Like Marvel has shit the bed so hard on that one.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. There's nobody that'll change my mind.
I've not heard a single person other than people that like will never have a negative opinion on anything say that,
especially Marvel. Like there's some people, like there's people out there that are just like, it doesn't matter what Marvel does.
Yeah.
Like they're Marvel homers, like to the T.
Yeah.
And I'm not just a big Marvel hater. Like I love the majority of what they've done.
Marvel, the MCU is the reason why we collect comic books.
Yeah.
Right.
People want to say like I'm some kind of like Marvel hater in DC. Like I only give love to DC. Like, bro, I hated everything Snyder I said I hated. Like I didn't like any of it. I thought it was all trash. Every bit of it. I liked the new Batman. So that just throws me in the Marvel hater verse for some reason, I guess. I don't know, but I thought the Batman was
it's like Key Collector said, why can't we just be happy that they're just giving us things on the big screen?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Bro, he got trashed in the comments for that, by the way. That was funny. But yeah, so
and then the people, like I guarantee you, the people that were like on my review for Thor: Love and Thunder, I guarantee the people that were just like, because there's people literally saying like, I don't understand what you're upset about.
Yeah.
Well, did you watch the review? Because I gave you every single thing that I was upset about.
So when I was editing it, and
like, what the hell do you just jump on here and just throw your little comment in there, and you didn't even watch the review? You know.
Thank you, some dude. Thank you. Look, comment of the night right there. I've been like dying on this hill since we originally saw the character design. Everybody's like, no, Christian Bale's God, GOAT. He's not going to mess anything up. He's not going to do anything if it's not really good. And apparently, and again, I'm like, the movie may be great. His character design still sucks, and it's not what was in The God of Thunder.
All the people that kept saying, well, he's, that's just his first form.
Nah, bro, I knew that shit. I knew it.
Watch the movie. And see, I did what everybody said. Yeah. Everybody kept saying, how about we just watch the movie first and then have an opinion? I watched the movie, and I didn't even want to go see the movie. I had no intentions of seeing the movie. Just a couple of hours before I went to see it, I had just told Ryan and Beans, no, I'm not going to see it, because Ryan was asking if I wanted to hear a spoiler. I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
But, my boys asked me if I would go watch it, and I've had something where I couldn't go to the last 3 movies they invited me to, and I had nothing going on that night, and I was like, all right, I'll go. And it was fun hanging out with them. But literally, like top 3 cool. MCU moments, Cap finally getting Mjolnir. the Avengers assemble and everybody coming back, and the end credits finally rolling on Thor: Love and Thunder.
So you're right. Like that would be really cool to see something with Lobo, but I don't think they could do it justice with the cancel
There's
culture
no way
thing.
they could get away with Lobo nowadays. There's no way. Not unless they completely changed him
Or
and made him trash.
so real quick, I gotta go help Sky get Ellie in the bed. It won't take but a second. But one comment on that. Well, two comments. So one, like Lobo would be cool, and I think
What's up,
DC
Josh?
needs to do something for Question. Right? We need James to get his Question on screen somewhere. He deserves it. I think we should go for that. And then, where we at? Oh, Lobo. Oh, so if you were to take a showrunner that's doing The Boys, because The Boys, quite frankly, I'm reading that comic book. So I kind of alluded to I was reading some other things on top of Spider-Man. So I'm reading The Boys. I'm actually reading a novel called Shane. I'm trying to read some of the classic novels too. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm throwing that in there. And then, of course, One Piece on top of Spider-Man. But The Boys, like honestly, I'm 10 issues in, and there are more statements made that would literally get you ran out of Hollywood, just any. I mean, it is like, dude, it is rough. I mean, everything from like insane.
I'm sure.
Oh, like it is so
I'm
rough.
sure that the show is nothing like the books.
No, it is so tame.
Yeah.
So the show is tame compared to the comic books.
Well, and I'm sure there was a
language.
lot of stuff they changed to
Yes.
be more like on the side of how things are today too.
Yeah. For sure. Like it's nothing. And I won't like I've liked the way it's adapted a little bit, the storyline, but the comics are definitely totally different. Josh, saw your Facebook post, and I talked about it a little bit earlier, but get you some. All right. Yeah, exactly, Chris. That's a good way. Yeah, and showed that off too. Josh hooking me up. All right, give me 1 second. I don't know if you want to pull up any MCU stuff. We'll change topic. Let me go help her get Ellie in bed real quick. I just literally got to pick her up off the couch and take her right here. I'll be right
back. Nosh says he's enjoying Noctera, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, Scorch, Gunslinger, and hope for current Thor, Hulk, She-Hulk, and Venom runs. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff out there that's pretty decent. I haven't been reading anything new and modern probably in close to a year. The only thing pretty much left on, I mean, I've pretty much killed my pull list. I got to the point where I wasn't reading because there wasn't anything that I guess was keeping me interested enough that I felt like I needed to read it as soon as I got it. And once you get to that point, the books start piling up and your need to read list and your need to read box starts getting way piled up and you get so behind. And once I get to that point, I'm just like, I'm already 5 issues behind. It's too late for me now and I'm done with it. So, that was just where I was at, but I'm definitely, I'm sure there's stuff out there that's worth reading, for sure. Right now, crap, I haven't even probably read Walking Dead in like 4 or 5 issues, and I was like consistent with that. As soon as I got it, I'd get home, within a few days I would read it. And it's not that I've lost interest in it. I've just gotten so busy. I haven't had time for it, but I'm sure there's definitely some stuff out there for sure. The AWA. Yeah. I wanted to read that wrestling book they had, but I hadn't got to it yet. Something I started reading, and I posted it on our Instagram recently, is the Hobbit graphic novels. It's kind of like a trade paperback style. It's like a square bound, and it's part 1, part 2, part 3. And it's comic books. It started, the first one came out in 89, the other 2 came out in 1990. And I'd picked up issue number 1 last year at some point, and then I found the issue number 3 finally the last time I was in Huntsville. Well, when I was at Heroes Con, I picked up a pack that had all 3 of them in it, and I was like, man, I want to read these. Finally, I have them all. And I was just like, man, the artwork is so beautiful on those covers and the inside. And I was just like, this is something I would love to display. So I sent all 3 of them off to get graded. However, I did find that you can read them digitally online, baby. And the artwork is just phenomenal, even on the digital. And if you're a fan of The Hobbit, the movies, or the actual novels, which at some point I would be interested in reading for sure, definitely try to either find the books or at least go and read them digitally, because it is so cool, man. Reading through The Hobbit is literally seems like, and again, I'm sure that the actual novel is even better and probably the exact same, but I'm literally reading the words on this paper and I can see the character saying the exact line word for word in the movies that we watched that I loved so much. And it's just like, man, like every single word in this sentence. And I even went back and checked, like with the movie, like there's tons and tons. It's like I'm reading the script for the movie. It's incredible. And they stayed so true to it with the movies. Like they stayed so true to it so far. Right now, I just got to the part after Bilbo was able to beat Gollum in the what are they called? Not quizzes. It was riddles. So when he had the riddles match with Gollum, so I just got to that part and finished it up. But I mean, it's been awesome, and I love the artwork inside. It's so good. But yeah, the game of riddles. So if you're a fan of the Tolkien stuff, I definitely encourage you. If you're a comic fan too, definitely go find those at least digitally and read them. It's really good, and there's like a hardcover version of those that came out a long time ago. It's got like this red, it's like a red sleeve too that goes on it. And I can't find one anywhere online for sale, but if I ever see it, I'm going to buy it. Like I got to have it now. It's just one of those things. Like I got to have it. Let's see. What did Josh say? Josh said, preach, Nosh. What did Nosh say here? I think the problem is, let's see. AWA hasn't put out a bad book yet. Some aren't as good as others, but they're all pretty good. You're not the only. I had several people tell me I'd like Devil's Highway. And then Nosh says, I think the problem is how the story is told. In the old days, each comic had a story from start to finish, but today, one story will stretch 25 to 40 issues. Yeah. Do a Power Bomb is a fun new. Yeah, I've seen that one too. I didn't actually get a copy of issue 1. But yeah, they definitely like to stretch stuff out now for a long time. Hey, get up, stop it.
Well, that was awkward. Something really weird's going on there. I bet you it's a cat. Well, he was talking about The Hobbit. I was trying to look it up, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, a hardcover issue of The Hobbit. So I Googled it, and this is what I've seen. I don't know. Let's see. So I found this one. Is this what he was talking about? Maybe. You guys let me know.
See, but there's a special version of it.
Is this one?
And the only reason I was able to find it is because I saw on CLZ. It's got this red slip cover or something.
So it's not this?
No, it's signed by David Wenzel. It's limited to 600 copies. But this is what it looks like.
Let me see. Hold on.
And I think, I don't know if that's a slip cover or if that's the actual cover or what.
Have a good night, Dan.
But I'd love to have that though, for sure. But I mean, honestly, if I were to just see like a hardcover out, I would probably grab it.
Yeah.
I was just extremely impressed with how much it was just right on point with the movie.
Yeah.
Or I guess I should say that the movie was with the comic, which I'm sure is literally directly.
That's cool.
I'm sure the words are directly taken from the novel.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what James is saying is like Lord of the Rings, they had the book on set, and then make sure. And that, wouldn't that be great if the MCU did that with, I don't want to be called a comic purist or anything, but wouldn't it be great if the MCU actually cared enough about their fans that made these characters popular by reading the comics, promoting them, talking about them, hyping them up, that they would continue to do that in the MCU. All I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
no, we're not even going to make sure that the people that are writing and directing the films and TV shows are aware of what actually are aware of any of the history of the characters at all. Yeah, they don't care. So what do you guys want to jump into first, since we have spent the last hour talking about Silver Age comics and current comics, stuff we've been reading? Do we want to get into market talk, which would be cool if Josh could come on and talk a little bit with us too? I don't know what he's got going on, but that would be a cool topic for him.
By the way, he is starting a new show up with Alan on Thursday nights on Haven Comics YouTube channel.
The quiz show is going away?
Yep, he quit. He's a quitter.
You know what? I never would have thought him for that. But do we want to go into the market talk, the MCU talk, or the CGC talk? What do you guys want first?
So, I agree, Bronze. It has not been great. And I really wanted Doctor Strange to just be God. And Wanda has without a doubt been one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I've been saying since day one that she's been so underutilized based on what she is in the comics. And you finally get her, and I really felt like she was fantastic, but they really missed the mark by bringing in. Let me rephrase. They really missed the mark with bad writing with America Chavez. I feel like that could have been way cooler. So, well, let's see. That's too funny. All right, so James wants to talk about CGC. So we'll do that first. And then he wants to talk about those new cards that you got. That you got graded. So let's do that. Let me stop sharing screen. And my screen share, there you go.
So apparently CGC had another talk with those prominent people, which I actually is not what they said. But after Fatal J, what's up, brother? Fatal J and I was extremely impressed with how almost word for word certain parts of our reviews on Thor were, and I had recorded mine hours before his dropped, and I was literally watching his, sitting there just like, wow, I said that, or wow, I said that. It was crazy. But yeah, if you guys like movies and reviews and stuff like that, go check out my man Fatal J, because he's always putting out some cool stuff. But yeah, so the CGC thing, we know like a month ago, they came out and told us that after speaking with prominent members of the community, whoever the hell they are, they decided that it didn't matter if everybody else needed to see the graders' notes. They were going to rip stuff off of the slabs that were there before, giving prominent information, and make you pay to get an account, which that's going to come back up in a minute. Pay to get an account just to see graders' notes. Now, about a month later, they've decided to give us QR codes on the labels and free graders' notes for everybody. And that is even for non-paying members.
Yep.
So what about this?
Well, I'll tell you first.
And someone actually even mentioned this on the Instagram post. I don't remember if it was on the Facebook side or the Instagram side, but what about all those poor bastards that signed up just so that they could have access to graders' notes between now and when they made this announcement? I'd be pissed.
What about all those poor labels or people, the poor bastards are going to be buying the labels that have no QR code and no notes, and all that crap? It's really wild.
Well, I would say that's probably a very, very small amount.
No, dude, because the volume they're putting through.
Yeah, I know, but still, I mean,
tens of thousands.
At what point did that even go into effect?
They had already done it before the announcement. People were saying that they were already seeing that happening before they announced it formally.
Okay.
So
Yeah, see
and I
that I
think this is
wasn't
all.
sure about. I mean, like I said in the Instagram post, you know, we always you know, call CGC on their shit. And everybody's gotten to the point now where they're like, man, I don't know what happened to you guys. You guys are so negative all the time. So I try to post something positive. And then all y'all want to just sit and shit on us for posting something positive. Like, I'll be damned. What do y'all want from us anyway?
What up, Berkey Burke?
I try to post something positive. I even said, like, I'm not saying that there's not still tons of things they need to work on, but I thought maybe we would be nice and give them a little bravo for doing something to move them in the right direction. But nope. We're not. They didn't want us to do that either, Nick. I don't know what these people want anymore. I just don't know.
So I think this is a good move, but again, you know, this is going to take a while for it to really affect in the comic market.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking decades at this point of graded comics already out there. Like, this is cool, but I don't think it's going to be a big impact because, yeah, you can access these grader notes for free, but can you access the previously graded comic book notes? Let's see. Look at this. How stupid is this? So dumb. Okay, so everyone can. You don't have to have an account anymore. Okay,
Right.
so
Yeah,
they
that's what I said.
finally cleared up all this because I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe it was just the QR codes gave them the free notes, but I guess even the OG
Yeah.
original.
Yeah. Anybody can go in there and do it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Definitely have to. I mean, that's good. It's good, right? It's definitely a positive thing. We've talked about information is a big deal with CGC. So I think it's definitely a positive thing. But is it too little, too late?
You know, it's kind of like if you walked in the house and just slapped the piss out of your old lady, but then you come back later and say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I shouldn't have done that."
Yeah.
like you
I
know,
wish they would have come out and been like, "We apologized for the last announcement." Uh-oh.
Big Nosh coming in, still talking about, man, he wants that Emil Blonsky. He wants, we're going to get him an Emil Blonsky running on that Hulk series, man. Appreciate it, man. But I mean, it's like, yeah, like you didn't even come out and acknowledge that what you did was stupid. Like I think that would have went a lot further with people if you come out and acknowledge what you did was stupid. The other side of this is they still haven't acknowledged and done anything. They're still not putting graders notes on shit. Like that's the other side of the coin here. Like I looked up, I saw someone selling a Batman Adventures 3.5 on Instagram the other day. And right now I'm constantly on the look for stuff that is lower grades. We accept that one of us. What was that one?
He said he definitely, Burke is celebrating. He's using a celebratory super chat.
Okay.
He's been a member longer than this. I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there was a few months where you know, didn't go through.
F two brothers and just rolled out on us or something.
He might have.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we appreciate it, and all the
you never can trust those Kansas guys.
Oh man, this is funny to me.
You know, I'm constantly looking for books that are in a lower grade, and I'll check the grader's notes to see if there's something that I can do to improve that.
Yeah.
And I saw a 3.5 Batman Adventures 12, and I was like, why the hell would there be one in a 3.5? Like, that seems crazy to me for a book that modern. So I was like, I'm gonna check the grader's notes. I'm just curious at this point. So a 3.5 grader's notes, none available. How do you not have grader's notes on 3.5? There's no explanation for that. Like you can almost, I can almost be okay with not having it on a 9.4, 9.6, 9.8. I still think they should be on those. Like,
yeah,
if when you're looking at this book, you started at a 10 and you see something that knocks it to a 9.9, write that down. You see something knocks it to a 9.8, write that down. Like, and then all you got to do is just type in the computer. Like, come on, man, it's not that big a deal. But we're talking about a 3.5 with no grader's notes, 8.0s, 8.5s, 7.0s, 7.5s. like there's no excuse for that. But then turn around and I do a 25-foot book pre-screen, and one of my books that was denied had graders notes. Like there's still it's still they still have a lot of problems. But I will say that the current turnaround times, and I'm not talking about stuff that we sent off last year, because I've got stuff that's still been sitting there since last year and haven't gotten it back. But currently stuff you're sending in, especially if you're fast tracking it, you can't complain about these turnaround times for nothing. I mean, I've sent off like 4 or 5 submissions and gotten them all back within the last, since we got back from Huntsville. I know I've put in at least 4 or 5 submissions and they've all come back. I sent off 25 more. They were delivered Friday. They'll probably be open, logged in, and scheduled for grading come Monday. I'll probably have them back by the following Wednesday. Yeah. So that's definitely gotten better. I haven't had any issues with cases being scuffed or scratched, labels crooked or anything. Like everything's been cool on the books when they're coming back. So I feel like they're I have personally, just with my submissions, seen improvement on certain things, but there's still a lot of issues out there that need to be handled. And I think that what they're doing here with the QR code, that's helping, but they've got to be more consistent with the graders notes and making sure that they're there. Yeah. Because that's the one thing that people are going to continue to be upset about. I think if they can get that under control, then I think that's gonna really take a lot of issues that people like to talk about away. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I doubt they're gonna do it though.
Speaking of graders, real quick, so you remember that Iron Man 55 that everybody thought was gonna be a 7075?
Mm-hmm. The one that we picked up for Josh?
Yeah, guess what it came back at from CBCS?
What?
Just guess.
I'm guessing it was lower.
What's up, Kachung?
CBCS grades hard as hell anyway. I wouldn't have known. Why did he send it to CBCS? I would have never.
I didn't ask that. We were just talking about it in passing. Guess.
I don't know.
6-0.
Yeah, there's no way I would have sent that to CBCS.
And he was looking at the grader notes, because they do a great job with grader notes. He's like, there's nothing on it that makes any sense to me. I was like,
he shouldn't have sent it there. I mean, I would never send anything other than modern to CBCS.
Yeah,
I have no faith in their grading on anything less than modern, other than modern. Because if they're grading Silver Age the same way you grade modern, like I don't feel like you can actually do that. Like I
don't know if they're doing it that
way. Quality is different. I think it's too different. We accept them one of us.
So Chris Barrett, with his 15 months of membership chat, shaved the mustache to save Justin. So I don't know what's up with Justin, man. Somebody's gonna have to you're gonna have to message him and be like, "We miss you. We need you back on the show." We've been texting on and off, and apparently he hates me. And I told him that I'm getting nervous because he won't respond, and if he hates me, I'll be down to 0 friends. So I need him to step this up a little bit. And I'm being facetious. Obviously, I have more than 0 friends.
The Mortal Kombat is going back on Monday.
There you go,
dude. How about? So, just to veer off a little bit, this is another issue with CGC. So the 9.2 Mortal Kombat slab, it's already been cracked, pressed, cleaned. We got pictures of it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Sent it off to CGC, came back a 9.6. Okay, that's better than a 9.2, but still, WTF? Like this, you can't find a more perfect book than this. So yeah. I'm like, what the hell is the deal? So I'm talking to my man Jeff, and we're looking at this thing. We're like, dude, like something had to happen. Crack it out, dude. How about it's got a freaking a damn finger band, bro? You can see somebody just went yank right on the damn middle of the spine, and there was just like it literally. Like a crease, just like that almost. Like we've got pictures of it before we sent it in. It wasn't there, and then it's there in the slab. It's like, you sons of bitches. So guess what? We cracked that out again. We're sending it back on Monday. I don't know how many of that book was printed, but we will have more on the census than was printed before.
That's right. You're not giving them the labels back.
Well, I don't think he sent the label with the last one back, but I'm gonna tell him to send this one back. But
don't do it until after they regrade it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna send them back because I want the census to stay low on that book, obviously. But I mean, I'm gonna get my 9.8 on this book. Like, it's a 9.8 book. If y'all quit messing, I even put a note on it. I'm like, this is a very delicate book. It's the front cover, 3 pages, and the back cover. Please be careful. Don't be aggressive with it when you take it out. Don't lay other stuff on top of it because it will get messed up. And you're going to knock me for it. Like, how are you going to knock me for some shit you did, bro? Like, come on.
Well, you know, some intern that got working there is going to just drop it on the floor because of your note.
Yeah, so I'm going to get that 9.8 on that book, though. It's going to happen. There's only one 9.8 on the planet that's for sale. The guy's asking $6K for it. There's no way I'm buying that.
That's stupid. Well, what you do is you get yours, you put it up on eBay, buy it from yourself for about $30 in the 9.8, and just piss on his price.
I tell you what, man, like these books that I'm getting back from CGC and stuff, like if people don't start buying them on whatnot, like I'm gonna put them on eBay. I'll undercut the whole damn market just to get them sold and get my money. Like, I don't give a shit at this point.
Yeah,
the market's going to hell anyway.
That it is. Speaking of which,
segue.
This is what I wanted to show this with you guys. I came across this today while I was at the shop. I've never seen this before. And wanted to see if you guys had ever seen these. These are market reports from GPA. This is without a doubt the best pricing tool out there for graded comics. Okay. I mean, other than outright just going to eBay sold, which this is exactly what it is. This is very interesting to me. So these are market reports, overall value report, monthly totals of April 2022. So they do basically, and I believe these are like sales, what's out there. So like $36 million in total sales this year, or that month. So think about that. And that's just for CGC graded comic sales. $36 million in sales took place in what?
Wow.
In 1 month. Sorry, that Moonshine's coming back. So 40% of the value, which makes sense, are platinum or golden age, followed by silver, followed by bronze. Followed by silver, followed by modern, then bronze. Okay. So just absolutely wild, right? And I thought that was really cool because $14 million in golden age comics were being sold. If you were to ask me what group sold the most, I would have honestly probably told you modern, because of the flipping going on right now, the reselling, the retail arbitrage, if you will. And so to see this, it makes sense, right? Because you don't necessarily have to sell the same volume because of how expensive they are. But still,
it's not even that. You look at people like me. I don't even think I'm middle class at this point. I'm the one that's suffering, really bad right now with the gas and grocery products and stuff. So like comic books are not something I'm going to be buying as often.
Yeah.
But you look at someone who can afford to spend the money, which, I called and talked to Trey, who runs Dangerously Terrific Comics.
Yeah.
At all these cons, and these guys have monster books. You guys saw the thumbnail where I was holding the Batman one and the Tech 31 or the Tech 31. Yeah, these guys.
Yeah.
And I was asking him before Reggie's show what kind of trends you've been seeing and what seems to be selling the most. He said, dude, high 4-digit and 5-digit nut books are flying. He said, we struggle to get rid of anything right now under 1,000. He's like, that's the stuff that's barely selling.
Really? And that's interesting.
Those are because people who are buying those books, like it's harder to cough that money up right now.
Yep.
But the people who can afford to buy them 5-digit books, they're looking right now at what's going on in this market right now, and these books that are down 20, 30%, sometimes 45 and 50%, and they're salivating. They can't wait to buy these books because they're scooping them up at a deal. They don't give a damn. They got plenty of money.
Yeah, For sure. And if you look at this next aspect right here, you can kind of see that, right? Some of the shift. So 300 million total over the last year from 2021 May to April 2022. So that's about a 12-month period, give or take. It's 11 months, I guess, technically. Unless they're calculating it from like May 1 to April 31st, and that's, I would say technically 12 months. But anyway, so if you look here, 85 million on the platinum golden age. And then you have 87 million for silver age, but then see here, right here, 84 million in modern. So you see there's a massive drop in exactly what you're talking about, right? Like if you look at the values. So here, platinum outsold, or platinum gold in the high tier sold outrageously more than the rest of them by, a good 40%, right? And down here, what we saw the year previous in that trend, you saw, platinum golden age was high, but it was certainly not the highest, and it was certainly not by that same margin, if you will. So, bronze is going to stay low just because, there's really not, there's some good keys, but they're not, you have a few like very large keys. That's basically it. And then modern, I believe, is just by pure volume. You know what I mean? And of course, platinum golden age is not necessarily by volume, but by total price. And silver age is honestly just increasing in value. We've seen that. But if you look at this, and then you look at this singular month in April of 2022, exactly what you're saying is right. The higher end books are still saying what they are, but we're seeing a pretty, a pretty big drop in percentages, if you will. So pretty intriguing, and I guess that does make sense for sure.
Yeah, and I can see it happening.
Yeah,
and I don't. Jeff said hashtag 9.8 crew coming in hot, baby. Talking about that Mortal Kombat.
What's up, Cap'n? What's up, Southern? Southern Smoke? Where did he say 9.8? I missed it.
No, Jeff. He texted me.
Oh, okay. Is he watching?
No, no. He was literally just telling me about the Mortal Kombat book.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I don't watch eBay a whole lot, but when I'm scrolling through Instagram, there are several pages that we follow. We follow Elite, we follow Grails. So I just leave GPA up. Can GPA check prices of stuff like 3 months ago? Like we can see what something was selling for like 3-4 months ago?
Yeah. So, but before we jumped into that, I was going to just real quick, this is the volume report, and this is exactly what I was saying, right? So modern sold 44,000 plus units, which is 75% of total volume. And you can see, right, like only 2,342 items were actually sold that month. And that's very consistent. So, right, so modern comics, rated comics are clearly moving massive volumes. But it's certainly, it's wild. Of course, the prices are dropping here faster than they are, up here, obviously. But like, this is really interesting data that I've literally never seen before. So this is something I'm going to dig in deeper on. Maybe we'll start looking at this, once a month as they update this. This might be pretty cool, but this is super, super interesting stuff. But yeah, so pull up a book, whatever it is you want to see. And
so just one that I know I've been watching since the beginning of the year. We'll start with this one. Fantastic Four issue number 3. Now, I know I was looking for this book like early in the year, and I was obviously, at first I was like, I'm going to try to get like a 335. There you are. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to try to get like a 335. And I was surprised when I looked and saw like a 3 to a 3.5 was a little over $3,000, I believe, at that time. And like if you check back like in February.
Yep. So let's click on this here. Hold on. How do I always forget.
Yeah, I'm still really trying to learn the ropes on GP analysis.
Okay, so it's all right here. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I didn't scroll down enough. All right, so there's only been a couple of copies sold at this level, at a 3.5.
Okay,
but you can see.
What about a 3.0 then?
Let's go down. 3.0. Let's look.
Cause I swear, like all the listings I saw were like around like 3,000. I thought
these were the sold prices.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so sold prices in May $2,200. Okay, it
Yep.
somewhere between 22. We'll say 2,000 to 2,300 this year so far for a 3.0, right?
Yeah, the average right now, what they're listing is, let's see, 2135.
Yeah, I mean, if you look on Elite Comics right now, there's a 4.5 with off-white pages for $18.99 shipped. It has taken every fiber of my being not to pick this book up. It's been on there for 4 hours and nobody's picked it up. Nope.
Yeah, and look, if you look,
somebody finally picked it up.
in May it sold for 3142. In June it sold for 1955, the same grade.
Yeah. So
there could be like white pages or something different there, but yeah.
So somebody finally picked that one up. Giant size X-Men in a 5.0. I mean, that one 5.0, what was that at?
Let's see. Hulk 181's dropped significantly too. Josh and I talked about that today.
Yeah.
I mean, big drops. Massive drops. You should have sold it to me when you had the chance.
Nah, I think in about 2 weeks when they march the guy that they cast out on stage, it's going to go up. Feige hired the guy that's going to play Wolverine this week.
How do you know?
I know, dude, but just watch. Jeff and the guys, like, we're trying to find a way to watch Hall H on TV at their house while it's happening, so we can like it's a freaking Super Bowl, because like it's gonna be big.
We'll look at the schedule for it too.
I don't know how to watch it though. Like, I don't know. Like, I'd love to see if you could watch.
I don't think they're gonna live stream it.
Oh yeah, well, that sucks. So 5.0. So upwards of 3,300. 5.0 sold today, $2,299.
Yep, saw that.
For giant size X-Men. New Mutants 98, a 9.6 signed by Rob Liefeld. $850 for a yellow label. The 9.8 on New Mutants 98, bro, you can't even sell it for $1,500. Like, people are not buying that book at $1,500 for a 9.8. Let's see, Fantastic 449 5.0, $1,450. That's a great ass price for that book.
ASM 129 they have for like $1,300 on a 5.0. That's significantly lower.
So I mean, the upper echelon stuff is definitely moving.
Yep.
But I mean, like, if you sit here and scroll through Elite Comics every day, and they've got 30,000 people who follow their page.
Yeah.
I mean, that should give you a decent indication of market health.
Oh yeah.
When you're looking at, and this is not an Instagram. Ka-choom! What's up? What's up?
Top 10 facsimile covers. May not be a bad one, actually. Well, yeah, I mean that might be an interesting one.
Yeah. Yeah, I posted that thing today about the facsimile covers. I'm looking to buy some. Here's right here. You can buy a 9.6 set. 9.6 set. ASM 252, Secret Wars 8, and the Marvel
for like $1,100.
Yeah, not even 10,000 or just 1,000. Yeah, $1,100.
I saw that one.
Like, wasn't a 9.8 252 going for like over 1,000?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got and this is actual. These are tons of different people. Like Elite is a page that posts for you. So it's a consignment page. So this is tons and tons of different sellers that are posting these. X-Men number 4 in a 2.5 for $13.99.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, prices are outrageous. And like, even on the big books, right? So if you look at AF-15 here, I mean, nothing but basically red arrows going straight down.
Marvel Spotlight number 5 in a 7.5 for $2,799. Like, and some of this stuff sits on here for like a couple of days before people even buy them.
Yeah.
And some of them still haven't been purchased, which is crazy to me. but it, you know, it shows that people don't have the money. And even though the prices are down, you know, a hell of a lot on the stuff, like it's still not enticing enough to where these books would be flying like you would think.
Mm-hmm.
If these books, if you saw something pop up like that 3 months ago, 4 months ago at these prices, people would be beating the freaking door down trying to get them. And
Oh yeah.
now it's just like, you know, I mean, I'll
What's
be
up,
honest
Bleecker
with you.
Street?
Like, what's up, Bleak? I'll be honest with you. When I bought that Sentai #2, the 9.0 Power Rangers book, I used money that I used part of my business fund for what I'm doing right now, and my thought process was, I'll just sell my New Mutants 98 9.8 when I get back and recover it. No problem. It should move in a couple of days. Because I was just going to undercut the market. Because I had actually looked up that book before I went to Heroes Con, because I was going to bring it for trade bait. And it was like around 1750, 800 It was around 1750 to 1800 bucks that week, like multiple sales. And I was like, well, crap, I can sell that book super cheap and get it moved like that. Like as soon as I list it, somebody will grab it. It still hasn't sold. And you know, that's a lot of things, man. Like, and you know, I don't know, man. It's definitely crazy. You know, I don't think that we're hitting like a freaking the market completely falling out. You know, I don't think we're hitting a 90s. What do you call it? Well, he's not paying attention. What's the damn
Sorry,
word?
there was an issue going on in the neighborhood. I was seeing what it was. Say that one more time.
I don't think they were heading towards like the 90s crash.
No, there's not a crash
by any means, but to try and say that the market is definitely
stable
right now, and that it's not dropping. The market is, you know, to say that the market is not in a worse place now than it was before. If you are a seller or an investor, your books are not doing well right now, unless you have these, you know, five digit value books.
But even unless you bought in cheap at these higher level ones, again, even like Amazing Spider-Man #1, you know, Red Arrows for the most part.
The only thing doing good right now for some reason is Ghost Rider #1 and Marvel Spotlight 5. Like those are like the only books I see that have been consistently like staying consistent and also moving up a little bit. You know, I'm not, like I said, it's right now, if you're looking to buy, it's awesome. Perfect time.
Yeah,
Perfect
it's just
time.
a correction. I don't think it's crashing by any means.
No,
I think it's
and that's what I was saying. Like, and this is exactly what you and I sat here and did a video last year saying, like this time next year, people are going to be thinking the market's completely crashing because there's going to be a major correction. Stuff is going to drop. There's no way it can maintain and continue on at where it is. And that's what, and when I say that, this was us speaking last summer when everything was just going crazy. You know, if you had you know, two peas to rub together in your head for a brain, you knew that this was coming, what we're seeing right now. But
I think a lot of it has to do with just cost of living right now. I think if everything was
for sure. And you know, if you know, things continue to get shittier the way that they have been, then, you know, it's going to reflect in every other area in you know, of life, and we'll see it in this market. We'll see it in the, you know, you see it in the car market already too. I mean, when I bought my new truck, bro, there was none. When I bought that new truck I hadn't been able to find a truck on a car lot in a year. Over the last like 2 months, maybe month and a half, I see them all over now. Like people aren't snatching up those brand new vehicles all like they were.
Yeah.
You know, people were getting a lot of money from buying houses, selling houses and shit like that. And like, you know, once you start running through all that shit, and now people ain't trying to spend all this extra money. Like, you know, you start kind of having these types of corrections in all kinds of markets. So,
and it's what we're seeing across the board, right? I mean,
yeah.
and Josh and I talked about this at length today. You know, you have to go to work. You have to pay for gas to go to work, and you got to eat. And right now, I mean, even if you are making a sizable amount of money, you know, it still impacts you all the way across the board, especially if you have a bunch of kids or whatever, right? So it's wild, man, what's happening. But again, now would be a good time to invest and pick up a lot of things and buy cheap now. But I'm just sitting there thinking about the Spider-Man books I bought in March, and I'm like, well, that was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, because I've seen that first Green Goblin, that 14. I've seen some cheap copies recently.
Yeah, it's fine though. I didn't buy it because I wanted to flip.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
like if you would have just waited a couple of months, bro.
I know, but they'll go back up.
Yeah, they will. I was just, and I'm not talking about the investment. I'm just talking about you saving a little money.
Yeah,
like you could have saved a little money.
And I got a decent deal on those already. I mean, those guys were really nice. They took $500 off of them.
Dudes.
Yeah.
You know, I think another thing that I've noticed too is
exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's been a few things that I purchased for investment, you know, like the Hulk 181, that no matter what, like that book is going to win. Like, you know, that book is always going to be a win. It's just a matter of how long you can hold on to it. But, you know, another thing I've noticed with the comic market too is, when's the last time you saw like a I'm trying to think of the word. So you remember last year we went through phases, like we're like turtles at one point. Like it didn't matter what the hell it was. If it was turtles, they were selling everywhere. Facebook, live sales on YouTube, Instagram sales, whatnot. Didn't matter what platform, eBay, everything turtles was going through the roof. Then that slowly faded out. And then everything Star Wars went nuts. Everything on live sales on Instagram, post sales on Instagram, Facebook, eBay, everything. And then that kind of faded out. And then we got into G.I. Joe a little bit, which was a very, you know, it wasn't as long of a love affair as the other two, but we jumped a little bit into G.I. Joe. And I don't remember if there was anything after that. Fads, yes. There hasn't been any of that recently. I can't remember the last thing. Maybe it was the Star Wars or the G.I. Joe, but I can't remember the last thing that, you know, it was just like, man, like everybody's buying everything this or that, you know. And I've heard people say like Fantastic Four is like super hot right now. I'm not seeing it. I really ain't. You know, I watch a lot of YouTube auctions. I watch a lot of Instagram stuff, and I don't see when something's hot, everybody's trying to move it. When Turtles was hot, bro, I was seeing so much Turtles on every platform. I was almost sick of Turtles books. Like, I was just like, you know, you go to the cons, they were everywhere. You look on Facebook sales, they're everywhere, everything. And I'm not seeing that with Fantastic Four. Hell, I've put up Fantastic Four stuff on Whatnot starting at like $3.
So it's interesting you say that.
And nobody's buying it.
So it's interesting you say that because this is another report that I was looking at, and this is based on the last month. So it's broken down the same way, right? And these are all based on titles, right? So obviously Superman, you know, 5 million, right? Captain America, these are probably all, you know, 1 or 2 sales depending on, you know, probably like Superman #1, a couple of those sold, or Cap 1 probably sold. And this is kind of what last month's rank is and where they're at now, rank, you know, 1, 2, 3. So these, you know, these are not going to be very faddish because only a small percentage of people can afford these anyways. Silver Age sellers, right? So Fantastic Four this past month was the #1 title selling consistently at 30% of total value of the segment, as well as last month it was too. So you can see like Fantastic Four, Amazing Fantasy.
And where are they pulling from? Like Heritage and eBay and stuff
These
like that?
These are just strictly CGC sales. They pull from all of those places.
Okay.
Not Instagram and obviously not like YouTube auctions, but all of those. And you can actually click a link and it'll take you to the greater notes and things like that too. So, but again, this is kind of where they're at. And so you see your big obviously that makes sense, right? And a lot of these are probably like Amazing Fantasy. Obviously, Amazing Fantasy 15. Anytime one of those sales, it's going to be in the million at this point.
And that
Probably.
Fantastic Four, that was
Yeah.
probably like the number. There was, you're probably like your Fantastic Four fives and your number
Yeah.
fours, and
But it's making up a massive market.
right.
Amazing Spider-Man right now. I mean, Spider-Man keys are pretty big, and that's a lot due to the movie, I think. But you can kind of see where we're at, and like Batman's all the way down here, and that's pretty shocking to me, if you will. But the Bronze Age, Incredible Hulk makes sense, right? Because basically this is all carried by Hulk 181. These sales, the Amazing Spider-Man Bronze Age books, that makes sense because there's a ton of keys in that era.
129 is your big one there.
Yeah. So, and we'll scroll down, and so this is the modern sailors, and I think this is where a lot of fad is coming from too. But so anyway, so like Bronze Age and modern, I think is where you're going to get a lot of fad, because it's affordable for the most part.
Right.
But you're not seeing any of those in the bronze.
Yeah. It and even if Fantastic Four was like the big thing last month, like it wasn't on that level, because I really like, if nobody had said anything, I would have never known. You can't be into comic books and not know Turtles was the biggest shit going on last year. And then Star Wars was the biggest thing going on last year, to the point where like it didn't matter what issues it was, man. Like you could put up anything Turtles at that time and it was moving.
But it's still moving though. Check this out.
Moving.
So last month it was ranked 12th in total volume sales.
Yeah.
Now it is number 2 out of all of modern age. So I mean, it's still, but and then you look at Ultimate Fallout, which is just Ultimate Fallout 4.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Well, the reason why Turtles is probably moving a lot now is because them books have fell in the dumpster, man.
But it is
the number one, first print has dropped a hell of a lot.
Yeah. So, but it's very interesting to sit here and look at these trends. I mean, you have Edge of Spider-Verse. We know what that book is. The
Mutants drop like hell.
Spawn. I'm actually shocked to see the total of Spawn that's being sold. But a lot of these are like 1 or 2 really big key books. Star Wars, that's pretty interesting that it's, that's consistently been dropping. But then you have like the Harley Quinn book, that announcement came out that what's her name's going to be the new Harley Quinn. So that book jumped. Let's see.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too, Kachung. Like Ghost Rider, like Marvel Spotlight 5 and Ghost Rider 1 are like the only things that have been like consistent, like keep going up.
Yeah. So
luckily, I got on both, but yeah, I mean, like I look at 181, and honestly, I use Ultimate Fallout 4 as like a scale of like what are things looking like right now, and like Ultimate Fallout 4 and 9.8s, you can get them for under $2,500 if you look. They're out there all day.
Yeah.
And they're not moving. Yeah. Like I saw like 3 of them I was watching this week, and I watched them for several days, and I was actually talking to Ryan about it. I was like, dude, and they still ain't moving. Like this book's under $2,500 and it still hasn't moved. 3 months ago, it wouldn't have stood there for a whole minute. Somebody would have grabbed it. People were paying $3,000 and putting a smile on their face for it. The Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, that book is falling. Yeah, that book's falling.
And here's speaking of investments and prices and kind of books that have stayed consistent, which has been kind of a consistent topic or point of conversation during this specific topic. What books have remained really solid investments over the last 12 months. And they've basically broken this down. It's a progressive report, so it's over the last 12 months, and they must have traded, meaning being sold, at least 10 times in the last 12 months. So check this out. So obviously, this is very interesting. Amazing Spider-Man 33, has significantly gone up consistently. Fantastic Four.
Which issue is that? Is that the water cover?
The what now?
Is that the cover where the water's falling down on top of him?
Let me see. I think that's right around there. Yeah. Yep. So that's where J. Jonah is trying, or no, J. Jonah is trying to drown him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or I think no. J. Jonah
was strapped to a chair
there with him. This one he saved him. Who is trying to? Let's see. Man, it's been so long.
Fantastic 455. That's Black Bolt.
Is it? No. Okay, and that makes sense.
No, it's not Black Bolt. No, Fantastic 455. That's the Thing and Surfer cover.
Okay.
I got one of them that's been at CGC since last year.
Yeah. But if you look at this, right, like 90, I don't want to say 90%, but a ton of this is all Amazing Spider-Man. So very interesting, top investment, and that's all Silver Age, right? So let's look at the bronze. Doctor Strange, Avengers, X-Men, Marvel Presents #1, Star Wars #6 is really interesting to me. Some of these are just wild to see that they've been consistent. But again, it must be traded at least 10 times. So like if we had two big sales jumping AF-15 from 1 million to 1.5 million, obviously that's not tracked here because that's not creating a consistent, like that's going to be hard to judge based on just strictly two sales. But these are very interesting. And if you look, like 90% of these, 99% are looking like they're all Marvel. I don't think there's a single DC book on this Silver Age list.
Usually Poison Ivy. Like Poison Ivy is the one that I feel like sells like probably the most, as far, not like sells for the most, but like I would, if I had to pick a book that if somebody said like what DC issue, in that era sells more frequently, I would guess Poison Ivy every time.
Yeah. Now this is wild to me. Honestly, with modern comics, it's going to be just such a
I agree, Brad. And we're going to talk about that again in a few minutes when we start getting into like the MCU stuff too. So we're going to talk about that too, because I honestly think that, and I could be wrong, but because this is my YouTube channel and my show, I can say what I want to. But I seriously think that the MCU, and I mean, we already know that DC's movies have negatively affected pricing on their books. Like that's why DC doesn't go up, because people aren't buying those books because they're like, well, they're never gonna do a movie on this character, which I think is a shitty reason to not buy a book anyway. Like, if I shouldn't say that, and that's right. I can't look at books that way personally and say, well, they're probably not ever going to do Scarecrow again. So even though I like that character, I should probably not buy it. Like, we always say collect your way. And if you collect basically just on wanting to have books that are good movie characters, then, go for it. But, that's not going to be something that ever is going to stop me from picking books up. Honestly, it makes no difference to me, because if that's a book I want or a character I like I don't give a damn about them being in a movie or not, because even if they put them in the movie, they're probably going to screw them up anyway.
Yeah.
But I think if with the way that regardless of what some people think, I mean, there's definitely been mixed opinions on the last 2 to 3 Marvel films, and a lot of the other stuff that's come out, with Star Wars and stuff like that. And if it continues down that road, that's going to eventually somehow in some way affect the market at some point.
Yeah,
because the market is completely driven right now by the MCU. Like, I mean, like that's all you hear people talk about is what the next spec is. Like that's all anybody talks about. And I've had several people, like, just in talking, like, man, I'm so sick of getting on YouTube and all you see is the spec stuff. And it's like, I'm not shitting on the spec stuff. Like I watch some of it, but like that's all that is ever talked about with these books. And if the product that you're speccing on starts getting to where people don't care anymore, that's going to change some things in the market.
Yeah, it's very intriguing what's happening. But like, I mean, honestly, that's why whenever I bought those Spider-Man keys, I, bought the books of the characters that I love the most. And really, at this point, the only one I'm really missing is I think I'm going to go ahead and go with Mary Jane too, because I've truly grown to appreciate her character. But if you buy what you love, you're never going to be disappointed, right? And all of these books are all going to, I mean, let's be realistic. They're going to consistently trend up at some point, right? I mean, if you invested your money in 10 years ago in the stocks, even through the worst times in the world, you still have, more money now than you did 10 years ago. Same thing with comic books. They're going to consistently go up. I mean, if I were to go to GPA and pull up all of these trends again, for any given book, let's just name a book. Somebody can give me a book.
Marvel or DC?
Doesn't matter.
Captain America 100.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite books that I have.
So I bet you if we looked at this, obviously it's consistently gone up. It's what's going to happen. When did Captain America 68?
Yeah.
Okay. So I bet you we're going to see a very straight up, sales curve here for just about any price or any grade. So let's just
7.5.
Let's do a 7.5.
That's what I got.
Look, I mean, if you look from 2002, it was around 128.
Mm-hmm.
The height of the market, we were seeing,
last summer.
We're seeing 1140. So I mean, a very strong, and even at the lowest point, this was February. Only one sold. It was 396.
Holy crap! I wished I would have seen that one. I'd have bought the hell out of it.
Back up to 720, right? So if you were to do a 90-day average, I mean, you're doing pretty damn good for yourself. You know what I mean? The last 90 days. So, low of 396.
I think I paid 200 for mine raw.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have seen that one for 300 and whatever. Because
let's see what the issue was with this one.
That's a hell of a price.
Oh, it was sold on Heritage Auction.
See, I don't get on Heritage and Comic Link and all that stuff enough. My buddies, like they stay on there, man. But I never get on there hardly enough. But I wished I would have seen that, dude, because that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer.
Okay, so that is okay. So maybe we'll exclude all of the 90s. But I understand, and obviously not all comic books,
right?
But the ones we're talking about, right? The SMPs,
I think Silver Age is going to be like the last age of comics where you can pretty much blanket it and say, most everything in this era is going to be stuff that is going to be of value.
Blue Beetle.
I think once you get into Bronze Age, that blanket kind of comes off.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more and there's so many more of them. But I think Silver Age is probably going to be that last era where you can pretty much blanket it and say just about everything in here is agreed. Everything Silver Age is pretty much a safe bet because it was the beginnings and the early goings of so many things, man.
Yeah.
This is so exciting talk. Dude, I love this shit so much, man. We sat there last night after that sale, and I sat there and talked to them guys until 2:00 in the morning. We just talking shit about comics, man. I just love it. And I know people tend to think sometimes, I don't know. I guess I come off as I don't, but I do. I love this shit with everything I got. And I'm telling you, I can't wait for you to get out here and be able to spend a day and come hang out with these guys. You'll see what I'm saying. They just I don't know, man. These guys are they definitely changed my attitude on a lot of things. I think getting around people more often that love this shit the way you do.
Yeah.
It really helps, keep you level on it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's also, the people that have the same interest, because comic books, man, there's such a wide variety of people. You have some people that you talk to some people and they just love the art aspect, to be an artist but and then you have some people that strictly love to read it, and then you have some people that never read a comic book and all they do is flip.
Right.
And whether or not we agree with whatever aspect of whatever part of the comic books, but I think it's important to have people who enjoy the same way around you.
As long as we can all come back to that common ground of just agreeing to that this is the best medium to have as a hobby that you could. I mean, I can't think of it. There's nothing else out there. There's nothing else out there like comics. Even if you look at it from a monetary standpoint, there's nothing else out there like comic books.
The only thing that could be probably close is sports cards. But I'm telling you, man, VHS that's going to be the new big thing. CGC VHS grading.
And see, me and Jeff were talking about sports cards, and he said something that made sense, because he said not even sports cards can touch what comics do, and I forget what it was he was saying. But as soon as he said, because at first I was like, nah, sports cards, but as soon as he said it the way he said it, I was like, damn, you're right. And he says shit like that all the time, man. Just change your whole thinking on stuff. Yeah. And I can't remember what he said. I wished I could, but
I wish manga was more like had the same feel to it, because I don't know. I mean, like, I love the stories in it, and purely for reading it, man. But like, even
with sports cards, like if you look at sports cards, like you want the rookie card.
Yeah.
You get the rookie card, like you're done. You got the Jordan rookie.
Yep.
If you're a Fantastic Four fan, bro, like if you want, like if I look at the rookie cards as like those are the keys, right? If you look at comic books, bro, like it ain't just a one and done. Like you're not going, like you can't be done. You can't be done. And
Pokemon cards were a big thing for a minute, and now that's kind of gone down quite a bit.
Oh yeah. And like with comics, like I've got, I've started to dwindle down the mass amount of stuff that I had, same way you did, to just the stuff that really, really, really gets me hard. And I've got so many things that I bought for so many different reasons. And like, this is the stuff that, like, I don't care if if the bottom falls out and they're all completely worthless.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look at them any differently.
Yeah. And that's why I bought the ASM keys I did, right? Because I know long-term they will be a really solid investment unless comic books as a whole go down. But reading through this, I have adored every single one of those characters. Black Cat I thought was stupid before I started reading it. And a lot of it's due to what they're doing with her as a modern character. But reading the classic, the way it was meant to be or originally portrayed, God, she was hilarious. Her and Peter Parker were great together. That was a really good love interest for a moment to replace kind of that Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy whole, not the stupid Carly Cooper shit they're doing in modern, around the late 600s. And, Hobgoblin, dude, so interesting. Green Goblin. I'd love to have ASM1 basically for J. Jonah Jameson at this point, because I love the character. I want to go back and get Mary Jane. At first, reading her, she was kind of stupid. Gwen Stacy's where it's at, which, I have her first one. But now seeing the big impact that she's had for really decades with Peter Parker, I want that book. And I'm going to go out and get it. And if I get it, hopefully get it at a great deal. But I do know if something happened, my money's going to continue to grow over time with those. But if it does crash like it's doing right now, yeah, my heart kind of hurts a little bit because I have a lot of money.
Right.
But I'm going to love those books. They're my books. I bought them because of the love.
That's exactly why I bought that Walking Dead #1. I've said it a million times. I hated the show. I thought the show was trash. Rick was probably the worst character on there, I thought. And
have a good night, Kyle.
Later, Kyle. Take it easy, buddy. But reading the comic books.
What's up, Warlord?
Rick became one of my absolute favorite characters.
Yeah.
And I had to have that Walking Dead #1 because that was where it started. I fell in love with the series when I was reading it. I loved Rick, and I was just like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. And that was where one of those that I decided that I was gonna start buying books based on stuff that I was reading that I loved, and that was like the first big one I did. I got a Fantastic 449. Because I love that Punisher character. And Galactus is cool. Later on down the road, he gets a lot better. But, I've read the Marvel Spotlight stuff featuring Ghost Rider, and I've got those. The Fantastic 425. I bought that last year when that book was not worth a damn thing. I set the record high for a 2.5 purchase before that book was worth anything because I loved that story. Now the book's going through the roof, or it was.
Yeah.
But I got it to a point where I was buying Captain America stuff because I loved how Jack Kirby drew Captain America. I've gone through so many different phases and reasonings for buying certain books, but like you said, when it all comes down to it, like, no matter what reason I bought these for a reason, and I don't see that getting lost on me anytime soon.
Yeah. James, and that's something I got to figure out too, right? Do I want 25, which is like a cameo, or 42, which is the first full for Mary Jane? Maybe I get both. I don't know.
Which one is the Rhino cover?
The Rhino one, I think you think is 41, but it was actually 42, I believe, when she came in.
Well, the one they credit with her first appearance is a Rhino cover.
Let me see. Yeah, I don't think it's 41. 41's the big Rhino cover. Somebody correct me.
43 is the Rhino cover.
Okay, but it was 42 where she had her first full.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking up 43 to see if I remember. Because 41 is also a really beautiful Rhino cover too.
Okay. Yeah, at my shop, see, 41 isn't even credited. Yeah, 43 is the one I've seen at shops credited as the first appearance.
Yeah, so it's actually 25. She has like this small little, like, she's like covered up basically, her face, so you don't really see her, but you know it's her, and her name's dropped. And then in 42, you see the full blown. I want to say at the end. Is that the first time you hear her say, "You hit that jackpot, Tiger," at the end of 42?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. So, and again, guys, like, I've read damn near 800 or 700 comics since then of Spider-Man, but I think that's what it was. It's like, "You've hit the jackpot, Tiger." Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So James was saying it. See, James, man. Exactly. For sure. It has. I think so. Or what they'll do now is, one thing I'm noticing, and they started doing this in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, is they'll give you like this secondary side story at the back end that you don't actually give a shit about. DC's the worst about it. They'll do a Batman title with like a Nightwing in the back or something like that. And it's because,
yeah, you're absolutely right, Bradimus. We were talking about that earlier. Like they're dragging it on so much now.
Yeah, dude. See, what I'm probably going to do, so we're supposed to be going up to Knoxville, and I talked to Josh. Josh said he was not going to come, and I said, "Well, you suck butt." And
are you serious? He's already bailing?
He said he's got a lot of claims for his time, and
we're just not on the list.
Yeah,
he's the one that was telling me about it. Whatever.
Exactly. So stupid, man. I hate the fact they do this. But so I may try to look for one there just so I can have like something to look for, and maybe the market will continue to crash.
Well, you still need a 300 too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about
McFarlane. Where did McFarlane start on ASM?
299 or 298.
Maybe 299 is the one for you then, as much as you love McFarlane's.
Yeah. I had one. I've had a couple of those actually. So, and for me, like, I've had the black suits, I've had this.
Well, see, I wasn't thinking for the black suit. I was just thinking because of how much you love the McFarlane run.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. But I'm just like, what I was getting to is like, I'm the type of guy where if I've had it and then I've sold it, I'm not really probably going to go back and get it again unless, like, I can't think of one comic book I've sold that I'm like, man, I would love to have that back, because I can say, you know what, I've owned it, I'm happy, great. You know what I mean? And that's the way I've always been. So I know I'm probably going to look for 42, and that'll cure up basically. I can't think of another big ASM key that I don't have or haven't had. Like, I've had Secret Wars 8, 252. You know, none of the other villains have been like, man, I gotta have that one. It's really been Green Goblin. I got Hobgoblin. Yeah, you know, there's not much left. Not much other than ASM 1. Obviously, AF-15 if it ever hits like next to nothing, but that's not gonna happen. Yeah, dude, something's killing the children.
I want to go on Whatnot, dude. You can probably get it $4,000, $5,000 off, like the last one.
No, it was like damn near 10 grand off, but he had buyer protection. Stupid. All right, so let's talk about the MCU real quick. In the panel H, Marvel, San Diego Comic-Con schedule, and then we will probably call it a night because it's getting pretty late. And I'm a little bit I've been drinking. And this is a 90 proof moonshine, and then the tequila is 40% alcohol by volume. And I don't drink.
Was Gore the God Butcher's kid in the comics a girl?
I honestly don't even remember. I don't think it was that big of a deal. Like, the kid was so quick it didn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, it was a big deal in the movie, but I think it was a boy in the comics though.
Why was it a big deal in the movie? What'd they do?
Oh, you'll see. I don't want to give spoilers, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, it wasn't like.
Oh, it was a daughter in the comics. Okay, I could have swore I saw something where he was talking about his son, so that was why I was asking. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember, man. It's been about 2 years since I read that story.
Thank you, Norrin Rad. I'm glad that you agree with me on that. I don't know if you saw my review, but there are people that think I'm crazy.
Okay, maybe it is a son. James said he thinks he's wrong.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought so. I mean, doesn't surprise me at this point. But yeah, we definitely have our new Thor. And she's like 8.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's ignorant, bro.
They die.
Who?
The kids, I believe all of his children, wife, everybody die in the comics. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Well,
oh Lord.
I don't know if you've been listening, Nick, but comic accuracy is not something
like that's part of what
should
drove
be
him
complaining about when it comes to the movies.
His wife
Nick.
died. Oh God. Okay. All right. Let's see.
While he's looking for that, like I'll just say, like, I don't know what the deal is with the MCU right now. And we talked about it last night after we finished the sale, and they wanted to watch my review, and we were talking about like it's like it would kill them to let a villain be a villain. We have to make sure that every villain now has some kind of redeeming quality and redeeming moment in the movies. Like after Thanos, like we're never gonna see a real villain again. I guarantee it. Like it's not gonna happen. We're already seeing what they're doing with Craven.
And what blows my mind is people are like,
they did it with Gore.
Hunters are conservationists too, so that's fine. It makes sense. Craven is not a conservationist. Craven is I'm going to kill the biggest, baddest son of a bitches in all of the animal kingdom, put them on my trophy room wall. I'm going to split a lion's head in half and wear it around. That is Craven the Hunter.
Yeah. Well, and they did it with Gore too. Like they wouldn't let Gore just be a villain. Like, nope. They had to he had to have a redeeming moment, and yeah, there was nothing about that movie that made sense. Everything in that movie was completely ignorant. Like, well, okay, ignorant I guess isn't the proper word, but it was just it made no sense. Nothing made sense in that movie. It was just like, okay, like we took Thor, who is supposed to be like the baddest of the Avengers. I mean, this is Thor.
Yeah.
And they made him look like a bitch. They took Zeus, who was supposed to be the epitome of Greek god mythology, the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And they made him a bitch. Like I don't know what other word to use, but they're continuously doing this so that they can prop up the female characters. Like well, you know, they did the same thing in The Walking Dead in the last few series.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's gotten to the point where like you can guarantee and bet that it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just hearing that they not only changed the character design, but the fact that his kids don't die, and like Gore had no redeeming qualities, and that's what made him great. Yeah, that is stupid. Now that you say that, everybody has a redeeming quality all the way across Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at Boba Fett. You know, we were talking about this last night, and you know, Jeff and them were talking about Boba Fett. Like he's supposed to be like, you know, a terrible dude,
Yeah,
and
he's a
no,
bounty hunter.
he's not a villain anymore.
Yeah,
Look
it
at
is.
Venom. Look at Venom.
Now, granted, let's be honest. I know what you're going to say. Ventum's now a hero, and he's not supposed to be. But from the
I
very
wasn't going to say that he's not supposed to be,
okay, go ahead.
but in the comics, was Venom like in the big, like, was he not like regardless if he was a hero, an anti-hero,
Yeah.
whatever, like he was a nasty character.
Oh, always savage, always very savage.
And
Always
it's not there anymore.
no,
Not in the comics, not in the movies. Like,
no.
you know,
So, but I will
Venom is
tell you,
one of Marvel's top selling
yeah,
superheroes
for sure.
right now.
But when he created and came out, his thing was he always wanted to protect the innocents. He just wanted to kill Spider-Man. That's what made him a Spider-Man villain. And then he slowly became, something else. And then a couple other people took on the mantle with like Flash Thompson. And then, so I mean, there's been a lot of derivative with Venom and then anti-Venom and things like that. But
yeah, and I mean, Chris kind of said it good right there. He's supposed to walk that line, but it doesn't seem like he really walks that line very much anymore.
No. But you're right. I mean, that is a very good way to put it. That all
like
villains.
I mean, if anything, like you're supposed to hate the villains. So have Kraven the Hunter go out there killing somebody's damn kitty cats. Like have him skinning kitty cats alive on the film. Make people hate the bastard.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to not like a villain. It's a movie. It's not real.
Yeah.
But we're so terrified of offending people that nope, we can't have a true villain anymore. You'll never get Kraven's Last Hunt. And if you do, it'll be some watered down bullcrap.
I'm actually looking through to see the characters and to see what they did with a new Thor.
Well, they didn't. I'll explain it to you after the show. I don't want to give anybody any spoilers they don't want.
They brought in Brett Goldstein to play a character? That's badass.
That's the Ted Lasso guy?
Yeah, from he's Hercules in the movie. Was he at least cool?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he seems, and just from the, little bit we saw of him, like, yeah, he seems like he's going to be a badass dude. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like getting, the true badass male characters is something that we're going to get much more of. I mean, everybody's, all like literally, like they were nothing but comedic relief.
Yeah,
it was nothing.
Brett Goldstein is just, I love that dude. He's so freaking funny. God, he's hilarious. Okay. I hope that would be badass to see. I had no clue. That'll be interesting for sure. I had no clue he was there. All right. Well, let's go through this real quick.
Well, and it's kind of a major spoiler, so you did just give that away, but
oh, my bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
End credit scene, dude.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
for real.
I swear to shit, you just gave it away. That was worse than me with the Department of Truth giveaway.
My bad. I'm just scrolling down the list. I thought he was just a part of that, in the trailer where you see all the gods. I just assumed he was just sitting as like a cameo just to be funny. Because there's apparently 2 other comedians that are doing the whole acting Thor and Loki and that kind of thing out, apparently. So, my bad, guys.
Yeah,
I've seen a few of those, brother.
I cannot, even if you're not a comic fan, I still can't understand how you've watched the MCU up to Endgame, and not even trying to compare it to Endgame, but how you could watch the MCU up to Endgame and still look at that movie and say that was a good movie.
I haven't even the big outlets haven't been positive about it.
Oh, I've been seeing tons of stuff today positive about it.
Really, because I have not.
Yeah, I see stuff. I keep seeing stuff being posted saying that this is the best MCU movie ever. I'm like,
and the critics have killed it too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well let's do this real quick. So, the Marvel Comics panel schedule, Friday, July 22nd, 60 years of Spider-Man, and they're not going to do this any justice because you know why? They're bringing out this man who, yeah, he had a long run, but Jesus Christ,
The laziest man in comics.
And apparently other surprising deaths.
Isn't that guy they did that big thing on? He
Yeah.
was just like, seemed like he was just
Marvel
sorry
method.
as shit.
Yeah, for sure. So, and this whole new Edge of Spider-Verse thing looks terrible. I don't know why they're doing it. I guess the younger folks are into it, but I don't get it. And then you have Marvel Comics Judgment Day with CB Cebulski, aka Akira Yoshida, and Nick Lowe. So God forbid we have actual, fantastic writers. David Pepos. Okay, I didn't know he was doing FF, so that's neat. Adam Kubert. Eve of Judgment. Don't know anything about that. Maybe that's the current event going on. But don't think that's going to be anything special. Probably not going to be that big of a deal. Marvel Comics, next big thing. So you have Akira back in, and then you're going to be Darren Shan, Lauren Bloom. Okay, no big deal. Like, none of these are super exciting. Maybe Rom V. Yeah, none of that's interesting. Women of Marvel. Okay, so you having a... Okay, so I was about to say, are you going to have a dude up there for Women of Marvel? Because that sounds like something they would do. But cool, great. Then what's next? Nothing about... Nothing? Really? They don't have anything listed for... Let's see.
Well, that's going to be Hall H. That's not going to be like a panel.
Hall H, San Diego Comic-Con.
That's his own thing. There you go. Berserker and Keanu Reeves going to San Diego Comic-Con.
All right, so Hall H. Let's see if there's anything fun in here. Rugrats, nobody cares. Teen Wolf, nobody cares. National Treasure, nobody cares because it has nothing to do with Nick Cage. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, God, I feel like that's been old news for years at this point. Severance, nobody cares. SpongeBob SquarePants, nobody will have time. Shatner on Shatner.
They're replacing Nick Cage with a female lead actor. Is that what they're doing?
I think so, but it's a TV show, so... But if we're going to be fair about that, I mean... there was it was Nick Cage and a female actor anyways as like the big leads. I don't think that's as big of a deal, but it's more
got Nick Cage and it ain't watching. I don't give a damn who it is.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter to me.
Care if he's got something swinging or not.
But I think it kind of speaks to them just rebooting the same things over and over again with no real.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where'd the creativity go? We're let's bring some really cool, neat stuff. Harley Quinn's season 3 advance screening. Look, that's like what's the word whenever you enjoy something that you probably shouldn't because how stupid it is?
Oh, your guilty pleasure?
Yeah, like for whatever reason, man, this shit is just hilarious to me. Looney Tunes, Lord of the Rings Power, look, they're not doing this justice at all, so nobody cares. Spotlight on Frank Miller. I'm actually shocked they're doing this because Frank Miller was apparently canceled. He was supposed to show up to a con in England somewhere and it was blown up. I'm like, dude, it's Frank Miller. All because he did a book about terrorists back in the early 2000s, like 2000, something like that. A whole stupid thing. Marvel Studios animation. So this is pretty cool, except X-Men 97, that's going to be basically about, and I'm quoting the showrunner or one of the writers, correcting the wrongs of the original animated series. So no big deal. But I am excited. So don't get pumped up about that one if you want to see changes made to the original series or correcting the wrong, so to speak. Marvel Zombies What If Season 2, that's going to be really cool. I think those were a lot of great animations.
X-Men 97, which is
No,
probably
that's what I
gonna
was
be,
just talking about.
it's
You didn't
probably
hear
gonna be
what I said?
trash.
Yeah, that's what I just said, yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically they're going to be, and this is quoting one of the showrunners or writers, righting the wrongs of the original X-Men. So it's going to
Jesus
be, instead of
Christ.
focusing on a good story, it's going to be focusing on whatever it is they want to go
Narratives
into it.
and agendas and all that bullshit.
Yeah. Tales of the Walking Dead. So nobody cares about this because,
Nope.
yeah, it's kind
Trash.
of over. Paper Girls, that's that new series based on comic books. I believe the trailers came out. Not super pumped about it. Transformers Earthspark Autobots Rolls. I don't know if this is going to be, I think this is animation, right?
Probably.
Yeah, because this is
The
all
last animation Transformers, I haven't watched much of it, but it was really good to start for sure. It was like a real adult content Transformers more than anything. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So this is cool. So they're going to be talking about the film here, it seems like, for Berserker. Cool.
Which we knew that was coming.
Yep. Oh, this is all that matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Super
More
Superhero.
trash, bro.
That's all that's going to matter this year. I'm so freaking pumped.
Yeah, Beast Wars would be cool, dude. Do a Beast Wars movie. I used to love that show. I used to love the Beast Wars when they were in space.
Yeah.
And then the one where you had like the gorilla and the cheetah, like that was cool.
I'm trying, Bradimus. I'm trying to go through the cool stuff. Sorry.
I want a Primal Rage movie. That'd be cool.
Oh, okay. So check this out. World premiere Green Lantern Beware My Power screening and Q&A. So does somebody know if this is... Oh, it's got to be an animation because if you look, it's Justice League, Dark Apocalypse War, some of these other things. So, but man, DC does animations right. The Paper Girls fan screening, again, I know it's a comic, but it's not really... I don't know. It's honestly probably going to be canceled after season 1. Watch. House of Dragon
nowadays.
Say that again, Dustin.
Most stuff has been nowadays. There hasn't been much lasting.
Well, Brian K. Vaughan's last show that they put out was Why the Last Man, which I never could finish it. It was just not great to me. It was canceled like mid-season. They're like, no, we're done. House of Dragon. So this is a prequel to Game of Thrones. So that's going to be exciting as long as... I don't know. I'm being reserved after how bad the last season was. J. Michael Straczynski. Now, this is going to be solely based on probably Babylon 5, but I would love to just be able to sit and talk to him about Spider-Man because he, in my opinion, did a fairly good job. I actually bought Volume 1 because of how much I loved it and waiting for Volume 2 reprint. The Warville, this was good before what's-his-name like just went off the deep end, but I used to enjoy that. Oh my gosh. Mythic Quest. Oh man. If you've never watched this show, guys, you got to watch it. It's on Apple. It is freaking hilarious. Oh, I can't wait to show. I took a picture of it because I'm going to show Sky about it. All right. And then this is going to be the big one, 5 p.m. Marvel Cinematic Universe mega panel. Kevin Feige unveils what's next in the MCU series and film. Hall H.
Yep. And to me, if there was something going to breathe life back into the market as far as like,
bro, I love Mythic Quest.
Seeing these books turn a 180 and start going back up extremely quickly and with huge leaps of increasing value, that's going to happen right there. If that doesn't do it, then then that means that right there is going to show you how bad the current state of affairs with our country is hitting people in the wallet.
For sure. And I honestly
don't be surprised. I'm telling you, don't be surprised.
I think it's just going to be probably
if he marches the guy that got cast as Wolverine out on that stage.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but I would not be surprised at this point.
I think they're going to talk about Secret Wars, FF, and it would be nice if they talked about X-Men, but we've not seen much. Did they even announce that one was in development yet?
The last time they were at Hall H, the last thing we saw was a big Fantastic Four logo.
I know that
pop up on the screen, and then the X-Men screen pop
we
up.
did see an X-Men thing. Okay,
I think so. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's worth. I'm telling you, Mythic Quest was the greatest. I absolutely adored it. You need to watch it. It's freaking hilarious. And I had no clue that there's a season 3. And season 4. Dude, freaking hilarious. It was so freaking funny, and it didn't take itself seriously enough. So even if there was like some, basically, it just made fun of a lot of the agenda type stuff, and it was funny. It really was. All right, so let's keep going. I don't see
They need to
anything
get the
else.
Russo brothers back is what needs to happen.
Apparently, what
If
was
the
that?
Russo brothers aren't handling, if the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige aren't directly handling Fantastic Four
Yeah,
and X-Men, I think it's going to be horrible.
yeah.
It's going to be, if they mess up Fantastic Four and X-Men, like, I don't even know what you could hope for at that point. But
We'll probably get some. What up, Joe?
to me, you need Feige and the Russo brothers handling those two.
Yeah.
And don't let Taikiki or whatever the hell his name is ever do anything again. Him and his 5-year-old fart jokes are about piss me off.
So he actually said that he gave the world the Thor that nobody would have ever asked for is what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I put a comment on there, not the one that nobody asked for, but the one nobody wanted.
Yeah. Other than that, that's really it. So I mean, not as much as I
saw in that movie is not the Thor that was walking up to Thanos by himself, ready to kick his ass all by himself,
and eventually cut off his head.
Yeah, that's not the same. That's not the same Thor.
Yep, for sure. No. All right, I'm gonna pull up the spin my wheel for the super chat giveaway. You still have like 30 seconds to enter. Who do we have?
Yeah,
we had
Joe.
June
after you go
and
see
Nosh.
it, dude, you can go watch my review that we put up yesterday and see if you agree.
We have Nosh and Kachung. Share that if anybody else comes through. You know, I really, yeah, for sure. I still love Thor Ragnarok. It's always my go-to movie if I'm feeling down or something like that, or like just need to pick me up, so to speak. It's still a great movie. I know it's not comic accurate, but whatever.
And see, I liked that movie because, you know, you started to get that more humorous Thor, but you still got to see him be Thor. You know? At the end, he still came in and kicked the shit out of Hela. He made a Thor entrance. He remained that hard badass character.
Yeah.
And you did not get that in this movie at all. You did not get that in this movie at all.
Yep.
And like I said in my review, they spent more time worrying about putting bullshit scenes in there than they did about making sure we got to see Jane Foster become Thor, or I don't know, any kind of character development on Gore the God Butcher. We got to see nothing on Gore. We saw him do absolutely jack shit in the entire movie.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Nosh picked up another 2 weeks in a row. Nosh picked the one up. Boom. All right, Nosh. I may throw those books in with his stuff we're already sending him.
Cool. All right. What do you think? Maybe just 5 more minutes. Open it up for anybody else. Have any other questions, topics?
Yeah.
And then we'll call it. I've been choking up at dude, look how red my face is. I do not need a drink.
Man, the other day I got off work, my whole face was the color of this shirt. I was burnt up so bad.
Oh, Dustin, show off the cards. I forgot. James wanted to see him. Go ahead, Bradimus. I'm just gonna call you Brad.
All right, so this is the next level grading card slabs here.
There you go.
So you get the subgrades. There we go. You get the subgrades there. You get the holographic double colored label. And on the back, you get the card number, the serial number, or whatever you call it. And then, you know, all you have to do is turn on your NFC.
Near field communication.
Yeah. Which I'm not going to take my phone out of the case and everything because it doesn't work if it's in the case. But you literally just take it and put it here, and then it pops up on your phone and takes you to the website, and you can literally just take the card and just flip it around. I mean, anything I'm doing, anything I can do with this card in my hand, I can do it on the web page. But
so show off a few of the different labels and talk about how the labels are done. Dustin, Joe wants to know when the next Whatnot auction is.
So my wife and kid are leaving Wednesday to go out of town until next Monday. So I may have some random pop-ups throughout the week. But more than likely, the only one I can guarantee you on is going to be Sunday. Not this week. Not tomorrow, because I'm trying to soak up as much time as I can with them before they go, because they're getting on a plane, and then they're getting on 2 boats, and then getting on another plane. So I'm terribly worried about how much time I'm going to have left with them in general. So I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with them. So no sales this weekend, but so there you go. You can see where they try to color match and make the labels match up with the card. So you'll see that Blastoids, the holographic part, is the same color as the label, and then the Pikachu is the same way. So, but
Trinity,
yeah,
I hate leaving my children and my wife. That is pretty cool, though, Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be as worried, but the fact that my 6-year-old's getting on an airplane and flying to god dang Washington State, and then they're going to get on a 4-hour whale watching boat. And then taking a ferry somewhere else. Like, yeah, I'm pretty unhappy about the whole situation.
I would be more concerned about them being in Washington or in Seattle for a minute than I would the
Well, they're not going to be in Seattle.
But they're flying into Seattle, right?
I don't think so.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have gone up to seeing James. Dustin refuses to fly.
It's too long of a drive, bro.
All right. Last month, Brad got his 1 in 50 for cover price because my LCS messed up. I didn't say a word. Would he said anything? If we're going to be completely honest, you want honesty, and I've been drinking. I would have said something, and I would have said something because I'm very close friends with the owner of my local comic shop. I've walked in, gone through short boxes, and found, for example, the 8th printing of Once and Future, which was like a $100 book. He had it for a cover price in his back issues. I pulled it. I was like, oh, let's check. And I brought it to him. I was like, look, I don't care for the book. I don't want the book. I'm not going to go resell it because I just don't care. But so I gave it to him. I was like, you may want to check the price on this. But this is also the same guy that will take, and let me explain why. We'll take and order. We'll order all of the Kanto issues so he can get a copy of this so I can buy it, and he'll give it to me for cover price. So that's the type of relationship I have with him. Yeah. If you have an LCS, and honestly,
my shop, if they had put it out for cover price and I picked it up, even if I said something, John would be like, "Oh well," you know. I mean, John prices him like if it's a 1 in 50, he'll put it at $49.99. If it's a 1 in 10, it's gonna be $10.
I think it's all down to like.
Yeah, he does it like if the 1 in 25 is going for $300, you're gonna be able to pick it up at my shop for $25, and he doesn't give a damn. But like if I go pick up something out of a box and say, "Dude, you should, increase the price on this," he's like, "Eh." It's in there, bro. It's good.
Yeah. But like
So
I said,
he
with stuff
probably
like
wouldn't
this,
care, but
I'm like one of 2 people that buy Kanto, but he'll go out and buy 15 copies
yeah.
of it so I can get this. You know what I mean? Or whatever it may be, or if I don't know if there's 1 in 25 or whatever. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that may
Um,
be the other thing, you know, if you guys are cool and, you know, he may have just, hey, you know what? Let me hook Brad up.
yeah. Like, you know, he hooked me up, you know, with this today, right? For, you know, so he you know, it's all about relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, and if it's an accident, you know, I don't know. I think it all comes down to this scenario. But if it was me in that situation, I
Yeah,
knew,
there's shops I go to where, you know,
you know, they're
if I
doing some shady stuff anyways.
if I could do that to them, then, you know, I would do it, and after I paid for it, I'd tell them, "Ha ha, guess what, mother." But
Thank God we have some 2 really good.
yeah, we both lucked up with the guys that run our shops. We got good folks. What's up, JB? Good evening, brother.
What's up?
Chilling out there in Oregon. Got
Yeah,
any
then it's
blast?
not like you did it like purposely, right? It wasn't like, oh God, here I stole the 1 in 50 from him. Ah, now there's a local comic shop else here locally that I would absolutely do it to in a heartbeat because they're jackasses and almost made me quit collecting comic books because I was new and they didn't want to take the time to talk to me and like help me understand things. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, them I'd be like, double fingers on the way out the door, you know, piss off. But no, I love my guys. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Josh always, you know, they do right. You know, if you have a good comic shop owner with a good relationship, they treat you right. It's
Yep.
also why I'll generally just go whenever he's there.
That's pretty much how I've gotten to. Like, I'll hit John up. Hey, you at the shop today?
Yeah,
No. Okay, well, I was just gonna stop by and shoot the shit for a little bit. But if you're not
yeah,
there, I'm just gonna go home.
because it's not so much about the comic books, you know,
Yeah,
it is, but it's also about the
yeah. I mean, I don't
relationship
have
and
a pull. I
talking.
don't really have anything on the pull list anyway. I just go up
Yeah,
there and shoot the shit with him. And half the time when I'm in there, like something will walk through. Like the other day, I was in there to pick up some mailers, and I was kind of in a hurry, and I was getting ready to go, and a guy walked in and was like, "Hey, I've got some turtle stuff I'm trying to sell." And John just
yeah,
looked at me, and I'm like, I looked at the guy.
yep,
I said, "Hurry
exactly.
up." He was like, "Huh?" I said, "Go get them. Hurry up. I got to go." So the guy brings them in there, and it's literally he's got like 2 totes full of turtles toys from the Michael Bay film,
um,
and John's looking at it, and the guy's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I just want to kind of trade it for something," and I'm like, "All right, you've said that 1,000 times. Calm down. We got it.
yeah,
We understand." And I'm sitting here texting John a message while I'm standing next to him. I'm like, "Don't buy these, bro." I'm like, because unless you get some kid that comes in here with mommy and daddy kicking and screaming
yeah,
because they want them, you ain't gonna move these. Because I mean, I didn't mind the movies, but as a whole, Turtles fans hated these films.
yeah, for
They
sure.
are not gonna move. They're not worth anything, and you're about to get screwed if you buy them.
Yeah,
So John tells the guy, he's like, so what would you be looking for in trade? He's like, oh, I don't know, man. I just want something cool, something valuable. He's like, you know, like a first edition Turtles 1 would be cool. And I literally looked at this guy, and I was like, are you talking about like 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 the original one, right? Or you're not talking about that one? He's like, yeah, like a first edition, like the really hard to find one. I said, do you understand how much that book's worth? I was like, in low beat up grade, like you're not getting one for less than like almost
thousands.
20,000.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, I know. I said, how much do you think this stuff is worth, bro? And John's like, yeah, we don't have anything like that, man. He was like, well, what about a figure? He's like maybe like the cat one or something. And
yeah,
again, how much do you think this stuff's worth, bro? Because do you understand how much Scratch the Cat is worth? That
too
joker
funny.
can have a foot gnawed off with no,
Yeah,
missing a foot out of the packaging, and it's still like a $1,000 figure.
I think there's.
And I'm just sitting here like just appalled at what this guy thinks he's got. I'm
Well,
like,
I
dude,
think
you
there's
just got even.
I think there's a point where like you have to figure out if this guy's like just stupid or and just is like or if he's just like a new like into it,
No, no,
maybe
no,
just
no.
needs some
This
education.
What I took from it was, and he even said he bought these figures hoping that they would be worth money later.
Oh, so he's just like flipping.
And I'm sitting here, and I think in his mind, he thought he was going to come in there and get over on John, which John wouldn't have went for it anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here like who? If you're going to try to get over on somebody, do you really think going into a business that literally deals in said products every day that's where you're going to go get over on somebody?
Yeah.
Like are you, what is your mind think? What is your mindset right now? A Turtles
James.
1, like, bro, I wouldn't have traded you a 4th print Turtles #1 for the bullshit you just brought in here.
Yeah.
He loaded all that shit up and took it back to the truck. I'm like, when he said Turtles 1 first edition, I was just like, well, I told John, I was like, what did I tell John? I forget what I said. I told John, I said, I was getting ready to leave. I said, dude, I said, I got an old flat Spalding basketball at the house that I'll bring in and trade you for that ASM 129 in the showcase over there. And he was like, oh, really? I said, I tell you what, if you throw the giant size X-Men in, I'll even put air in it for you. I mean, I'm just like, this is literally like the equivalent of what this dude just brought in. Like, I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even give you $100 for everything you have here. Like, nobody will want this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the craziest thing I ever seen. But I mean, you know, and I don't know where that got into. Oh, we were talking about just going in and talking, but like, yeah, I went in there to pick up some supplies, but 9 times out of 10 when I go in there, you know, just to go in and chat with John, see how everything's going, talk to Paul, and, you know, catch up. And most of the time, you know, other guys will walk in and we'll sit down and talk a little bit too. But I mean, you know, that's, to me, that's better than going in there and picking up the books most of the time.
Well, that's what I did today. I mean, I walked in and, you know, Josh is doing this new talk show and I'm sitting there with Tom and Josh, and we're just talking about different things. And we all have,
you son of a bitch.
We all have a bunch of different opinions.
CJ, John sent his CJ a picture of it, and he said, no. Dude, it was bad, dude. It was bad.
And people do that with 90s comics too. They'll come in with a bunch of, I've seen that happen at shops. And, you know, I saw one shop basically told them it was all crap and like really hurt these people's feelings. And then you have somebody like Josh that does it in a really polite way and explains.
I was gonna say, John's real polite about it. He'll just tell him, like, you know, I've got boxes and boxes of this stuff.
And he'll explain like why these aren't valuable. But like today, so just hanging out at the comic shop, and you know, like Tom's opinions on things are a lot different than mine, and you know, Josh is definitely more the middle of the road on everybody's, and we're just sitting there talking, and it felt like you were sitting in like a barber shop or something. They're like, Josh, this is what you need to do. You need to get your camera, get your microphones, do this every Saturday morning with some people. That is what you should do. Because I'm telling you, like, that's content I think people would love to be a part of that, because not everybody has that type of community with them. And it's basically like this format, but sitting around his you know, D&D table he has, all the comics.
He needs to knock that wall down and make that doorway bigger and set that back area up and have more of like a hangout area, kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. Like, we want to get a brick and mortar and have like a lounge area to like just sit around and shoot the shit and stuff. And like I think that's something super cool.
Well, Josh is going to be doing a couple things. He's moving his dollar bins. He's trying to get something built, and he's trying to get a lot of stuff. That's why he hit me up with this Hobgoblin. He's trying to move a bunch of stuff from that back area so it can be more. Because I think, you know, like, he lets some people come back there, and he's not going to tell anybody, oh, you can't come back here, but he has a lot of stuff back there that, you know, not necessarily the quote unquote general public's just going to have pure unadulterated access to. And, you know, he has the couch and the table and whatnot, but that's kind of what it is. I mean, he'll buy pizza, and whoever's there, come by, get a piece. You know, he'll buy 4 or 5 pizzas. Hell, he'll buy, you know, some days if he's buying burritos, he'll buy everybody that's there a burrito or bring in breakfast. But I'm like, this is literally the way, like, I'm like, Josh, this is what you need to do, you know? Because like we're all very different opinionated about things. Like Tom probably, you know, I know Tom thinks, you know, I'm over the top with dying on the hill for Gore, and we can sit and talk about that. And like, I'm not mad after we're done talking. I'm not what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'm not offended. I don't think he's offended when I talk. And Josh is also kind of the middle of the road. He's like, he'll call stuff out when he sees it if he thinks you're being kind of over the top. But
it amazes me sometimes that me and Josh land on the same side of the fence on so many things.
Well, I'm shocked by a lot of stuff too today that some of the movies and stuff we were talking about, and like
I said something about Namor somewhere, and
we
Josh
talked about
was
this today.
like Josh was like, I mean, had the shield on my back.
Exactly. So we talked about that today because I brought up the picture.
No, Trinity, never, not even once, bro.
We were talking about Gore, and so I pulled up the picture of Namor and I showed it to Tom. I was like, "So do you want to talk about this?" And he just kind of shook his head at me. He was like, "Okay, really, this is what you want to do?" But we were actually on the same page with things.
Yeah,
he's like, like if that's how
it doesn't even seem like they're gonna have him hit the water. Like if you look at if you look at Atuma, like the design shows no resemblance of anything that is going to have him be underwater ever.
Yeah,
like he's covered in feathers and like these emerald stones and like they're not even. It's gonna be Namor. It's not gonna be the Submariner.
Yeah, but that's exactly a conversation we had. Like, it's Namor and name only. And then I turn around and I look at them both. I was like, it's the same freaking thing with Gore. And Josh threw out, he's like, because he doesn't have a nose. I'm like, no, it's because the character design sucked ass.
He doesn't have the nose, the tentacles. He's not.
Or because he does have the nose, is what he said.
He doesn't have the body. He doesn't have the same powers. He doesn't go through the same journey.
Yeah.
I mean, I can continue on, and I haven't even read the friggin' story.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like just a few issues. Like, it's not a bunch, so you should definitely take time to read it. It's good. But I'm telling you, like I told Josh, I was like, this is what you need to do. And I know Alan and Josh, they're going to be on that talk show on Thursdays. But like, if you could find a way to capture those kind of conversations that take place, and I think there was actually a YouTube channel that did almost like I think it was called Comic Shop or something like that.
That's what James was saying. There was a YouTube channel that did that.
Oh, okay. So that's what he saw up there. Yeah. Or what is like Comic Castle? They quit doing it for a while. Something. I don't know. And then I feel like that I could pull something. Trinity. And I feel like I could pull something off like that. And I think we could make it really well. We have the equipment, but I don't have the time commitment.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. Like, if I was a single.
My favorite thing I saw on YouTube this week was Anna posting her Tomb Raider calendar shoot.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
You're ridiculous.
I'm not ridiculous.
That's
the first one I saw. And I was just like, you change your name to that Tomb Raider girl. Oh my God.
They're so stupid. Yeah, never go. It's like Comic Castle or something like that. Very never go full Star Wars.
Oh, we probably shouldn't talk about Anna on here. That'll get us on the ghost band with her.
Trinity, I'm sure Dustin will send something to you afterwards. But all right, guys, it has been 3 full hours. Not one time has Dustin got pissed off at me. I mean, I could go ahead. I mean, we got 2 minutes. I could get him pissed real quick. I fully expected with enough of this that it would happen. Comic Book Palace, that's what it was. They did start reposting. Good, man. Because people loved it. Yeah, Trinity, that's who he's talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Let's end it before you get mad. It was fairly
yeah, go look on her community page at her Tomb Raider calendar shoot, dude.
I think this was one of the better Babble-ons we've had in about a year.
Yeah, for sure.
Fully focused the whole time.
Great comic conversation.
I didn't piss you off.
We had a lot of positive.
We should do like a top 10 again.
Made a lot of positive. Oh, he said, bro. Oh.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate everything. We appreciate hanging out. Bradimus, I think this is the first time I've seen you in the chat. I don't know if Dustin has, but man, it was a blast.
Hanging out tonight, man.
So
we saw several people comment that I don't think we've seen comment much or before. So
we generally, for the historically, we've done this every Saturday night or Friday night. Last 6 months has been pretty rough, for a lot of different reasons, but we plan to keep doing this. We'll do I have a couple weeks till my birthday.
Yeah. We'll definitely do something for Nick's birthday like we always do. This coming Saturday, I probably will not be here.
Where will you be?
I got invited to go eat dinner and finally go see Top Gun with them. So
look at you having friends. Top Gun's the greatest movie that's come out.
I'm so excited, dude.
Tom Cruise
has
is
like a real small, like old school theater like we used to have down there.
Yeah.
It's got little like 4 screens. You got to stand outside and wait in line and pay the one teller, and like it's so cool.
Yeah, no, that'll be cool. You'll love that movie.
Yeah,
I've never walked out of a movie so pumped up afterwards. So proud to be an American. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's all I've heard.
But Tom Cruise is a freaking nutbag. Like, start going down the rabbit hole of Scientology, and holy crap,
he's crazy. Oh
my God. Chris Padilla coming in with the hot take. Oh man. Anywho's, guys, you are the best part of
straight fire, bro. I think I think his poop emoji and his fire emoji are like swapped around on his phone or something. I don't know.
Oh man. All right, guys. Yeah, for real. That is true. But seriously, like, spend like 4 minutes going down the rabbit hole of Scientology. It is mind-blowing, the craziness that happens. My wife and I, we were just like, what is going on? And then we went up to the Nashville Zoo, and Ellie fell asleep on the way home. As soon as we got in the car, she fell asleep. But there's a Scientology church in Nashville. So Sky looked it up, and we drove by it just to go by and see. Like, that's how into it we got, how ridiculous these people are. It's wild. All right. More content next week. I'm going full shorts for like the next year.
I'm going to try to record tomorrow. The grade reveals on the Ultimate Fallout 4, the Hulk 181, and the Edge of Spider-Verse 2 that I cracked out of slabs and I pressed and cleaned them and resubmitted them. So that should be coming this week.
Well, if you want to do that and then do like a vertical recording of it, just like gotcha. You know what I mean? And I can kind of chop it up. I think that's probably going to be the best target, the best way to grow on all platforms at this point. It's stupid. I hate it so much. I posted one just to see what would happen. And yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's it, Trinity.
All right, I'm leaving. I have no clue what's happening anymore. I'm done, guys. See ya.
Thanks for the good show, guys. We appreciate it. Hope to see you guys on the next one. Week after next, we'll be back on the Babble-On. So we'll see you guys then.
I may get wild and do something. Who knows? If I get Justin committed, maybe we'll come on and talk One Piece. All right. I'm not doing the peace sign because that's lame.